You find yourselves somewhere deep. The coppery stench of blood, some of it yours, is in the air. Brenner, you have a sense of responsibility and control of the token over the man that you are carrying in your arms. You notice but do not care that there is a steady stream of gold falling from his backpack. Looking at his face, you can see that his mustache is flecked with blood and his eyes are half lidded and glassy. Having spent a little bit of time on the battlefield, you are aware that this is shock. You realize, Brenner, that you could probably shake some answers out of Roger if you needed to. Ada, you can see that a heavy vertical security door has been lowered midway down the staircase to the third floor. Euros, your improvised smoke grenade runs out of fuel and the wispy white smoke hangs in the air. The actions with the party.
Is the door currently lowering?
It is currently, you see as it is already lowered.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a very circuitous way of saying no, it's already lowered.
I'm sorry, we are standing in front of the door to our north, correct?
Correct. That door has been unmoving the whole time. You know nothing about this door.
Glancing over this door, is it in the same make and model as the other ones that opened with the machined key up to this point?
It is, on a cursory level, this appears to be the same design as the doors that open with the machine key. That's right.
Brenner will nudge Taldrin in the shoulder and hold out the machine key. He currently still has a Roger Dale over his shoulder.
Before Taldrin takes it, he just tries the door, because the one before them that was similar was not locked either, correct?
Correct. The door opens, Taldrin.
Right.
You open the door. You can see around the corner a bit. Any questions about what you see? And also, Nothing Gold, if you were in the process of going down the stairs, let me know. We can resume that.
She is, but we can cut to that when it feels natural.
Taldrin will continue down this hallway then.
You do so. There's a massive brass pipe just over your head at the end of the hallway. There are two strange green luminous objects set into the wall.
Are these similar to the ones we've seen so far that were kind of yellowish?
They are similar, yes.
Taldrin is thinking about his bearings, because Roger said his compatriots were northwest. So he's going to continue north and try the door?
This door is locked. It has a keyhole, and it opens toward the center. So there are two slabs that go into the wall, left and right. There's a seam down the middle and a keyhole in the middle of the seam.
Does this keyhole look similar to the machine keyhole?
It looks similar.
Taldrin, kind of quietly calls for Brenner.
Sure. For ease of access, just imagine Roger is with Brenner at all times. Because we're in a tiny hole.
You're having a hard time muscling him around. I will use my imagination, but you'll still have to keep track of his token.
Will do.
Taldrin puts his hand out for the key.
He'll hand it over.
And now Taldrin will... Oh, sorry.
Just as a question, what are these two green glowing things to our...
What are they indeed?
All right.
Say again?
Is it all right? So they're like little bulbs in the wall.
Do you have a concept of such a thing?
Not really.
Where is Ada Worthware? Excuse me.
I think he dropped from call.
Okay.
Hey.
Sorry, internet went out. Power went out. I'm back.
No problem. Welcome back. A door has been opened.
To the left of us in this room, is it a straight wall, or is there... Because it looks like on the map there is a small opening where this pipe is running.
You are correct. There is a small opening. You assume it could be for servicing this pipe, or it could be for to allow something to pass underneath.
Does it look like I can pass through it?
You could. You could go underneath this pipe. It's actually above you. It's close to the ceiling.
Okay. While they are examining the doors, I would like to just poke my head down this little corridor a little bit.
You do so. It is dusty and disused back here. The pipe itself seems to be allowing some substance to move through it, as you can hear what sounds like the faint sound of fluid flowing from your north to your south.
How's the airflow feel?
Not good. Ever since that third floor door was closed, it feels a bit stuffy in here, and you can still smell a bit of sulfur from your improvised smoke grenade.
Am I able to climb over this pipe?
You could climb up to the top of it, should you see fit. Although it is rather cramped, you'd have to kind of muscle your way up there. It would be a bit of an athletic act, but you could do it. You could get on top of this pipe if you wanted to.
Yeah, so as they continue to fiddle with the door, I'm going to satiate my curiosity and just see what's on the other side of the pipe.
There's nothing on the other side of the pipe. This seems to be a small nook, you assume, for maintenance. As you clamber over the pipe, you hear a loud clang as your body goes over the brass. The pipe is slightly warm to the touch. Why don't we check in with Ada and Nothing Gold?
I'm going to approach Nothing Gold. What is Nothing Gold doing?
Well, at the end of the last session, they agreed that they were basically gonna split. So I think she's like just about to turn and run down the stairs. But if Ada tries to get her attention, she'll hesitate and turn back towards her.
From my vantage point, I can see that door is closed down there. I think we should try and open it.
You see... No, I'm sorry. I want to make sure that I give you legitimate information.
Please, please.
You saw the door on the upstairs was closed, not the downstairs.
Okay. Then I would not approach Nothing Gold.
My mistake.
Sorry, Nothing Gold, continue your chicanery.
Yeah, she'll just start running down the stairs.
As you see fit. One moment. You find yourself somewhere new. It's quiet here. There is a small landing. It's lit. There's a door on the west wall. And there are stairs leading downward to your north.
Okay, so this is 4Z something. She'll run up and try the door to the west.
It's locked. This security door is the same design that you saw on 3, with 2 slabs that would open left and right.
Okay, so she'll assume that it's also arcanically warded. All right, we'll just continue north. Is this going down another set of stairs?
It is.
depth first search.
One moment. You find yourself somewhere new. This is a sparsely decorated room. There's nothing in here. A massive door is on the south wall of this room.
I assume magically that pressure is increasing the further down she goes.
You find that you have to swallow to clear the pressure between your ears and your throat.
All right, let's approach the door.
You do so. It's massive, 15 feet from one end to the other, a vault-style door.
Locked?
You see that opening this door would require pulling a lever. Do you pull the lever?
Yes.
You pull the lever with a sense of trepidation. Nothing happens except a loud chunk. You sense that this door is barred, locked, or something is missing. The chunk echoes through this bare chamber.
Okay, she'll message Ada and say, I went 2 floors down. There's a set of doors that are locked much the same that they were trying to seal off the way to the life support system, and now I seem to be in front of some sort of vault, which is also locked.
Ada, you receive a message from your companion, Nothing Gold. Nothing Gold, you realize how much your footsteps echo in this room.
Is there any kind of keyhole or anything else? There's just the lever.
There is what you assume to be some type of aperture. This would be a strange key, but a key nonetheless. Perhaps something cylinder-shaped could slide into an aperture on the front of this door.
A cylinder shaped, okay. She'll start digging through her bag.
It takes some time as you've become so good at accruing items. Why don't we check in with you in a moment while you sift through your voluminous number of things. I also see Ada is gone, and that's fine. We will revisit that in a moment. Back with much of the party in a access hall somewhere underground.
Before we've tried the key, Brenner will poke his head within the little cubby space. There's nothing in there.
Nothing's in here. Just a warm pipe.
Alright. Turn back and looked at Daldry with the key in hand.
Taldry will try the key on the door.
You place the key in the door. Do you turn it?
Yes.
When you do so, it snaps.
Taldry just holds it up. Now, I have a question. Do I think it snapped because it didn't, this wasn't the right key for the right door, or was it the key just brittle?
You sense it was not the latter. You sense that this was not something where the key just couldn't hold up. Something happened, and it seemed to not accept the teeth, and it snapped right at the end. So you have a little cylinder left over.
Got you. So can I push the key back into that and cast Mend to bring the key to wholeness again?
You can, and you do so. You cast the mending spell, surging with the power of the Seldarine. You mend the key.
Okay, Taldry pulls the key back out. He goes, not this door.
Just shrugs and turns in 180 degrees.
Taldred remembers nothing gold unlocking that chest, and he turns around to look for her.
Turning around, you see Alyssa Gastmere.
Yeah. He asks the room, where's NG?
As I'm scrambling over the pipe. Was she
I
not with Ada?
believe she's gone south.
With Ada, right? So he looks around, seeing the lack of Ada with where as well.
That's what I thought I heard them saying when we started to walk up the hallway.
Alright, before we start going through any more doors or pipe, let's make sure that everybody's still standing.
You want me to backtrack real fast while you guys figure this out?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I cut in and do something?
You can, and were you here to receive Nothing Gold's contents of the message spell?
I was not.
I'll repeat that when we come back to NG.
I think we're coming back to Ada and NG right now. Why don't we, in order to prime Ada's action here, why don't you repeat the message and then Ada, do what you will.
Okay, so NG said something about she's gone 2 floors down. On the first floor, there's a locked set of doors to the west that looks very similar to the doors sealing off the life support system. And she is now in front of an even larger set of doors that looks vault-like, also locked, but she's going to try to do something.
What are you gonna try and do?
I've got a bunch of materials with me. I'm sure I can finagle something to go in the right place and, these mechanisms.
Please be in contact. I don't want to be separated. It feels dangerous.
I thought you wanted to do something chaotic.
That's true, I did.
Why don't you break something that'll make you feel like I'm right there?
I will laugh and move toward the 3rd to 2nd floor staircase.
You look up.
I would like to inspect the bulwark that's come down. Is there any... I have a shovel with me, and I would like to try and wedge it in.
You inspect the bulwark that has come down before you. You sense that these bulwarks are used as a form of containment within the facility. And you sense that you know that you came down these stairs and this was not lowered before. You think you could wedge the tip of your spade underneath this security door.
I will wedge the blade of my shovel, and I'm not going to put my full weight on it, but I'm going to test it to see how much give the door has.
You test it. The wood of the shaft of your shovel creaks.
It's heavy. I'm going to inspect the periphery to try and determine whether I think this is an automatic door or whether it was lowered by hand. If it were lowerable by hand, I would expect some sort of cranking mechanism on the exterior of it. Were it automated, I would expect that machinery to be mostly hidden and the door to be completely flat.
This door is completely flat. You see no signs of, if someone were to lower this by hand, you're not sure how they would do it. You can, in fact, you sense that one of the security features of this door is it is a smooth surface. You can run your hand across it, you feel only cold metal, and it's very tough to get any kind of friction or traction on this thing. So even if you were trying to push it up, it would be very difficult to do. There is enough give. You did get the tip of that shovel under there, though, and you think you can feel it moving just a bit. Certainly, this is not impregnable.
Okay, good to know. Anyway, I'll pass.
Taldred, you have a freshly mended key in your hand.
He does. And he turns around and he says, Lady Gastmere.
Yes.
I am loath to request such labors from you, but being as formidable as you are, do you think you could force this door open?
Oh, I suppose I could try.
Taldred moves out of the way.
Brenner just gives him a subtle thumbs up as he's moving through the corridor.
Guess maybe we'll move over to the door to take a look. Does it look similar
It does.
to all the other doors?
Another description of the security door to aid you in your plan of attack. There is a vertical seam, and there is a left slab and a right slab. They both seem composed of some type of metal, iron, you assume. They are very heavy, and it's hard to get anything wedged into that seam. These doors close quite well. You see no obvious way to access the mechanism that opens or closes the door, and the keyhole is set at about mid-chest height.
And they open like this.
That's exactly right, yes.
What does the wall look like?
The wall appears to be some type of black bricked stone.
I guess my question is, does the wall look a bit less durable than the door?
Perhaps. The wall is certainly thicker than the door. The door looks durable, yet then there are 5 feet of stone wall that you feel like you'd have to go through if you were trying to tunnel in.
Probably entirely depends on like how far into the wall the door actually goes when it's shut, because if you could just remove some of it from the side, you might be able to like peel the door out. But I imagine that this would take a while.
It would and may require a tool.
Let's at least attempt to dismantle the lock. Because I think with the previous door that was similar. You can kind of get the lock and then try and get at the inside.
How will you do so? Do you have something you can wedge into the lock? Using the thumb of your gauntlet maybe as a last resort?
Trying to think of if we have anything else, but not that I recall.
Across the table, we did just dismantle 2 very sturdy constructs.
Do the constructs have any bits that could be used?
Might require an investigation check.
She looks at Taldred over her shoulder. I'd rather not break these gauntlets, so perhaps if the constructs we took down had something we could wedge into the lock, it might
Yes.
help.
Okay, Taldred runs down the hallway.
Mr. Oswig,
Mhm.
how are you feeling?
He looks down to his right foot and his arm. I've seen better days. Excuse me. I've seen better days.
Yes,
We
I
took those
suppose
down.
My concern is that we are on a time limit, yes, but rushing headlong might not be the smartest idea. Do you think there'd be time for a breather?
Yeah. Maybe we can ask him. Jostles Dale on the shoulder.
Do you shake him?
A little bit, yeah. Not
I need
aggressively.
I need a binary response, unfortunately.
Yes.
You shake some of the life out of Roger. He sputters to consciousness, blood running from the corner of his mouth. He drools on you. He looks you in the eyes. You think you have a bit of his attention.
He'll prop him up against the wall.
You do so. He slumps forward almost immediately.
Hey.
His arms hang loose and useless at his sides. He doesn't say anything.
Brenner will gently tap the side of his face.
You do so.
will hold his hand back and forth to see if he's even tracking.
He tracks your hand just a bit.
Yeah, he's still in there. I'm not a medic. It's just looking almost helplessly back towards Gasmere at this.
His head slumps forward with nothing to stop it.
I am concerned. If we are forced to drag him along, he will slow us down.
Yeah.
Euros and Nothing Gold. Roll perception.
Even though I'm in the other room.
Yes.
7.
16.
Euros, you think you heard something below you from the downstairs. It sounded like a flywheel, like something suddenly spinning up.
Okay, I'm gonna move a little quicker then.
Move where?
Well, I was looking for the other two, so I walked down here.
You see Ada Worthware studying the upstairs door.
Okay. I am going to walk over to Ada, but not directly behind to interrupt her studying. And I'll simply state, Ada,
Oh, what?
where's Nothing Gold?
She's downstairs. She found what seems like a heavily guarded door that she can't get through on level 5.
I just heard something spin up. I don't know what it was though.
Will the message stone allow me to ask Nothing Gold about this?
I mean, if you want to, sorry, go ahead.
I think there's been too much. So this is asymmetric by design. You can respond to message, but you can't send one back. So no, you cannot reply like that.
That makes sense. If she's heard it, she hasn't told me, but we're in contact right now. I think this door can be opened. I think this thing's automatic.
I mean, it closed pretty quick, didn't it?
Yeah, but I could get the shovel in there, and it looked like it had some give. If we could ventilate, we don't have to go upstairs, but if we could ventilate, maybe wedge something in there, that might be useful. I'm sorry, Yoros. You were going to say something else?
I just need to find Nothing Gold, and Brenner wanted me to find everybody.
Okay, I'll come with.
Nothing Gold. Roll perception at disadvantage.
A 5.
Roll initiative at disadvantage.
Four.
You hear something. You hear a voice behind you say, "Cone of Cold. Make a Constitution saving throw."
22.
One moment. Can the rest of the party roll initiative as well?
I assume I do not get to use the signet ring because I do not recognize the initiative.
Yes, that is accurate. That is a yes. Thank you for that. Nothing Gold, take 22 cold damage. And I'll take initiatives as soon as you have them.
2.
19.
I got a... Was that 8 with a 2?
4.
Brenner with a 2.
Ada and nothing gold. Can you roll off your 4? And I'm sorry, that was Gasmer with a 14?
19.
19.
Nothing gold is 4 plus. It is 4 minus.
Euros.
Does my amulet work if I'm aware of initiative?
Yes, it works in all situations in which you're rolling initiative.
Okay, 28 then.
Taldrin?
15. And since we're getting into combat, I do have a question. You said yesterday Taldrid vomited up his Hero's Feast. Does that mean he no longer has the effects of Hero's Feast?
I think you digested enough of it. I think that you don't lose the
really?
effects upon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I had already subtracted the HP, so I got to redo that now.
You know, frankly, I will defer to you on this. If you, it's your Hero's Feast. It is your. I don't feel strongly about it either way. If you think that it's reasonable that you lost it, then lose it. I trust you to do your own balancing here for sure.
I kind of agree that it's been long enough that most of it would be digested, so it makes sense to me.
Euros, with a 28 at the top of the order. You had heard something downstairs, and now you hear something again. It sounded like feet on the ground, a shriek, something significant for sure. Hard to tell exactly where it came from. It may have come from upstairs, it may have come from downstairs. The echoing. Go ahead.
Sorry, you said, are the footsteps I hear at least distinctive above everything else? Can I at least definitely tell that footsteps were heard?
You heard, yes, you can hear footsteps somewhere, but in these all right angles chambers with all this stone construction, sound really bounces around a lot, so it's difficult to discern exactly where something's coming from.
Okay, well, upon hearing that Nothing Gold is downstairs by herself just a moment ago from Ada, I'm going to be a little anxious about this, and I'm going to quickly move over to the other stairs and start heading downstairs while repeating to Ada. You said she was downstairs, correct?
Level 5, that's what she told me last. I haven't
Alright.
heard from her.
I hear movement, so we need to find her quickly.
Downstairs?
I don't know where it is, but I have a bad feeling.
Okay, why don't you chase your bad feeling?
I do it all the time. And I will quickly make my way downstairs.
I will observe, but slowly. I don't think I'm concerned yet. I'm jumping initiative. I'll stop.
I don't think you are. So Euros, it's still your turn. You are using a move. You are going downstairs. Is that correct?
Yes, at a brisker pace than normal. But I am not going to go into a full sprint, as I don't want my armor to clang through the halls and alert somebody.
Absolutely. You arrive somewhere new. I think you have maybe 20 more feet of movement. If you're taking the dash action, I think you maybe have enough movement to either make it to either the door or the stairs.
So, Ada said Nothing Gold was on floor 5. So, doing some quick maths in his head, he's going to think he was on floor 3 because he went down several flights of stairs. So he's going to think this door on the left is insignificant and continue towards the stairs. So he is at the moment assuming every set of steps he goes down is just a floor. And I will end my turn at the top of these stairs.
You do so. And you can, from the top of the stairs, hear the same thing that you hear in the room there, Nothing Gold. The caster goes next. The Zentarum elite caster in the back. She points at you and says a single word. Disintegrate. Make a dexterity saving throw.
9.
One moment. Take 67 force.
Okay, she's dead.
A bolt of pure force impacts your chest. Are you dead? How dead are you?
Just out. Sorry, it wasn't twice her HP, but
Well, are you at or below 0 hit points?
she's below.
Everything you are wearing except for your bag of holding is reduced to nothingness. You become a fine gray dust, completely incomprehensible as something that was once a living thing. Nothing gold. They will paint your face on the bow of a ship and call it the Dreaming Dryad. They will sail beyond the horizon, and so will you. Good night, Nothing Gold.
So she was wearing a ring of mind shielding, which just says that her soul enters it when she dies.
As you wish. Your soul, or what is left of it, takes refuge in a ring. Euros, you hear a ripping sound. The caster says, the last thing you hear, Nothing Gold, is just in time for breakfast. The caster ends her turn. Gastmere with a 19.
What does Gasmere even hear in this situation? I think she's quite far from anything that's going on. Like, what would be her perception? She was just conversing with Brenna.
You perceive a low humming noise coming from the door to your south. You perceive that Brenner has given Roger Dale a good shake, and he is frothing a bit at the mouth. Other than that, you hear the sound of crushing silence.
I don't think we're going to get much out of Mr. Dale.
I don't think so either. Should take a break in the center. Regroup.
There was that one room we could retreat into.
I must have missed it. You can lead the way.
Let's double back.
Or we'll shimmy out of the way.
I think that's because I will move at the same time with Brenna, so I'm not going to be doing much this turn. Because I think she'd probably help carry Dale a bit. She can grab the legs.
Will firemen's carry him down the hallway?
But yeah, until something else, like, until she perceives something else to be going on, she's going to be heading towards, like, this room. Which I believe was open.
By this room, you mean in the northeast, the office?
Yeah, this... I guess it's an office, yes.
You do so. I think you can get about halfway up the hall on your turn.
Okay. Around then, maybe. But, yeah, I think she'd be moving at the same time with Brenna, so... It's a bit weird up here. That's my turn.
The Zentarum elite goes. Euros, you become aware that someone is walking up the stairs towards you.
Okay, I'm immediately going to conceal myself.
You realize that there are 3 figures coming up the stairs towards you. They are passing right by you. What do you do?
Are Are they walking up the stairs?
They're
So-
walking. They're walking up the stairs. Two of them are walking up front. They are abreast. They are going to walk directly into you. It is thus that it happens. The Zentarum elite group walks directly into you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
11.
You are knocked to your feet. You are trying to stay low. The Zentarum elite in full plate mail walks into you. The captain turns and looks and realizes at once that you are there. Allow me to describe the three of them for your records. There's a captain with a bastard sword in one hand and a shield in the other. He is flanked by a halberdier in full plate and a robed spellcaster over top of plate armor with both of her hands templed as she is looking at you preparing to cast another spell. I think this is the Zentarum elite's turn, and he ends his turn going to Taldred with a 15.
So Taldra is looking for something to wedge open these doors. I am curious about the west side of this room.
Describe your curiosities.
It looks like there's weapons of sorts, because this was some kind of hastily constructed barricade that also has weapon racks of some sort.
There are some weapons lying on the table here. This seems quickly, as you said, this was thrown together hastily. Yes, there are a number of weapons here. You see 2 short swords and 2 long swords. They seem to be perhaps marginally enchanted.
Marginally enchanted. Interesting.
For example, a +1 short sword, a common weapon in the employ of a basic adventurer.
Gotcha. What about this rack over here?
You see a heavy crossbow and a sheath of 100 bolts.
Nothing. Well, let's go down to this one as well. Anything particularly like a hammer of some kind that might have something for prying?
There's a glaive.
We'll take the glaive as a backup.
You take the glaive. It's unwieldy. It's hard to walk around with this thing even. It's hard to imagine yourself as the kind of person who would carry this. You retrieve the glaive, and I think with the third search here, this concludes your turn. The Zentarum captain, the elite captain, goes next. And I realized when we were doing this sequence, I didn't have the camera on this for you, Euros. So let me update this for you.
So while you're doing that, and they see me, since I just crawled out of that pipe room, I'm still covered in coal dust from my little shenanigans earlier, and then I will probably have dust and stuff on me. At a quick glance, do I have the appearance of a maintenance worker?
No. You are dirty, but you do not have, you realize instinctively that you do not have the trappings of somebody who works here, and certainly with the hostile, the immediate intent that you get is hostile. The halberd is about to be pointed at you. The captain has put his hand on his bastard sword and seems ready to take it out of its hilt. The caster is writing a spell.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. So as he goes to point the halberd to me, if I can have a chance to react with a speech action.
Sure. It's the captain's turn, but yes, you can immediately in the moment before he goes, yes, you can call something out.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Be careful where you're pointing then. I'm sorry to get in the way. Burnside sent me down here. Trying to do some maintenance. There's air not flowing up top. The pipes were hot, so I'm just coming down here to check it out.
The captain, who's the entire time you're talking, is pulling out his bastard sword. Just before he swings it at you, he explains, he says, Burnside was an asset, obviously. What's your AC?
Is it nighttime?
Do you think it's nighttime?
I don't know. My armor would tell me.
It's nighttime.
22.
He swings his bastard sword at your legs and misses. He attacks again and misses. So you said 22?
Right.
His third multi-attack hits. He gets you in your left oblique.
I assume a reaction cast is not going to work either.
Why would it... describe your intent. What are you casting?
Instinctively, when he gets hit, he reactively casts shield.
You attempt to cast shield, but nothing happens. You... Hold on one second, I was adding something, I'm going to have to start over. Take 13 slashing and 17 necrotic. So a total of 30.
Okay.
With his bonus action, he ends his turn. Nothing gold with a 4+ no longer exists on the prime. Ada with a 4-.
Have I heard anything downstairs?
You just did. You heard what sounded like Euros crying out in pain.
I'm gonna whip around. I assume I know Taldred's there. And I'm going to yell to Taldred, "There's a fight downstairs. We need to go now." And I'm gonna run downstairs.
Are you taking the dash action?
No.
You are running toward the downstairs. One moment, let me flip maps here.
I can't go down the stairs that fast, I think.
I do not see Ada as the type of person who can hurtle herself down the stairs. I think taking your full action here would put you, if you agree, just at the bottom of the stairs here.
Yeah.
One moment. You arrive just in time to see something. Euros is standing at the top of the stairs on the landing, and 3 Zentarim are down below. Let me know if you'd like their descriptions again. The halberdier seems intent on preventing Euros from leaving. In the back, you can see a spellcaster preparing to cast. Her mouth is just about to open to cast something. It remains your turn, Ada, although I think you have no action, but you may observe or communicate.
How tall is the ceiling here?
It is 10 feet.
Okay.
For future reference, these main hallways are 10 by 10.
Got it. So I only have my bonus action. I'm not. So there's nothing I can do with this. I would like to yell back up the stairs. Back up now.
You call up the stairs. Taldred, roll perception.
Nine?
You continue inspecting the halberd. The oak shaft seems strong, and it seems like it would be able to support whatever projects you would want to wedge this thing under. It seems well made. Ada, with anything left on your turn.
I don't believe I have anything I can do, so I will end my turn.
Brenner with a 2.
Just to keep continuity, he's in assistance with Gasmere, dragging Roger Dale down the hallway.
Sounds good. You do so. He coughs and sputters a bit as you move him. You still haven't seen his hands.
Have you? He'll ask Gasmere. Seen his hand? Is he just dumped here?
I suspect his hands are elsewhere, but I didn't exactly look.
I hope you can break these doors open.
Let's hope so.
We'll cut it there.
Euros at the top of the order with a 28.
So, in his desperation, he is going to, more or less in his mind, beg for the use of a magic spell. He doesn't care from where, he doesn't care how. He doesn't care that he's shunned magic before. He needs it right now.
Who do you reach out to? Who is in your heart of hearts, where is this message going?
He doesn't know. Since he's with the Shadow Weave, the only one he's heard everybody talk about over and over and over again with the Shadow Weave is Shar. So he's just gonna say, "Be damned, Shar, just help me."
You, from deep inside of you, reach out to Shar. You're not sure if anything happened. You beg for something, anything. You're not sure if it had any effect.
Regardless if I think if it had any effect or not, I'm going to try and cast Misty Step.
You will provoke an attack of opportunity.
Or, I'm sorry, Far Step. Does even Far Step, even though it's a teleportation, it invokes attack of opportunity? Because it's a bone action.
The halberdier, you know a bit about combat. He has his halberd pointed directly at you, and he has reach. And his entire purpose in this fire team is preventing people from moving ways that he doesn't want them to. You sense that the second you make a movement, he's going to hook you with that halberd.
It's fine. I'm going to risk it. That's all I can do. I mean, I could try and disengage on top of that, but I don't think it's going to do anything. Well, let me play out this sequence.
Go ahead.
So, I'm going to try and disengage backwards. And while I am moving, so that will be my action. And I will use my movement while disengaging. And I will use my bonus action while moving to try and do a far step to get to the other side, to get away from them. And far step has a range of 60 feet.
You execute on the following sequence. You disengage successfully from the captain. The elite halberdier is still able, even though you've disengaged, to get an attack of opportunity in. Let's resolve that first before we do your far step.
Okay.
He hits 27. $28 slashing.
Yeah, that puts me down.
He puts you down. He catches you with the halberd and smashes you into the ground. What's your HP total at? Are you unconscious or are you dead?
At negative 27 now. So not quite. So unconscious, because it's not enough to put me in dead status.
You are bleeding out. You are exsanguinating on the stairs. And thus, the rest of your turn does not occur. The caster goes. She sees you coming down the stairs, Ada. One moment. She casts Magic Missile. She says, Magic Missile. 6 darts fly at you. Take 22 force.
What are they in the shape of?
They're in the shape of small black daggers. And she uses her movement to go past the elite. Walks up to the corner and enters partial cover. She ends her turn. Gasmir with a 19.
Another check on what we're perceiving at this point. Probably not much of anything different from last time, right?
That's correct. You can hear Taldred going through weapons racks. You hear Roger Dale sputtering blood. You feel rather lonely. It seems like much of your party is not within auditory range here. You feel a bit isolated.
So I have a question. Can I use my reaction to say something?
Sure.
Because Ada, before she went down, she told Taldred there's a fight downstairs. So as they, Brenner and Gastamir approach, he would yell out, "We've got trouble downstairs."
You do so. Gasmir, it remains your turn.
She rounds the corner first, probably, and hears that. And immediately drops Roger's legs, I guess. Oh, Roger.
You do so. He lands on the ground with a sickening crunch.
I think Brenna's still got, like, Roger's
He'd be at his
arms,
shoulder.
potentially. Or something, yeah. She was just
But
doing
it's-
extra helping.
As soon as she drops it, Brenner nods to her. Go.
Well, she's gonna... She's gonna start hopping down towards...
every time you drop down one of those battlements, it is rough terrain, so it takes double your movement.
Okay. Shall drop down one of those in that case, and say to Taldred, which way?
Taldred points south towards the downstairs began.
I'll take the dash action, I think. Or... She gets to like the beginning of the staircase. And I think that's all I can do.
You end your turn. The Zentarum Elite Halberdier goes. He does two things. Using his action, he steps on your ribcage, Euros. You fail a death saving throw. He smashes your ribs through your armor into the stone. Using his bonus action, he looks at you, Ada, and says, "Marked her." You feel a sense of vulnerability. He ends his turn, Taldred Talton with a 15.
Taldred begins making his way. 1 second. So that would be 5, 15. Is a diagonal 5 as well?
Yes, you count every other.
Okay. 20, 25. Could I take this step right here to get next to Gastamir?
I think that's reasonable, yes.
Okay.
Anything else for your turn?
No, that'll be it.
The Zentarum Captain goes with a 12. He sizes you up, Ada, and you sense he doesn't think much of you. He bangs the flat of his bastard sword against his shield, making a metallic sound as he advances towards you. One moment. Okay. He attempts to grapple you to throw you down the stairs. Roll athletics. Strength or dex, whatever's higher. It says 19. He grabs you with his bladed gauntlets and tosses you.
Hell of a shield spell, Ada.
Yeah. I try.
Sorry. He grabs you with his bladed gauntlets and tosses you 5 feet north, throwing you down the stairs. You land on the other side of him. You take 7 crushing. Using his bonus action... Oh, I forgot something, but my hand is off the piece. Using his bonus action, he attempts to stomp on you on the ground. Make a dexterity saving throw. He stomps on the ground next to you. You roll out of the way just in time. He tries to step on your head, but you have just enough faculties to move out of the way. He ends his turn. Ada with a 4-. You are semi-prone right now. It'll take your bonus action and all of your movement to stand up, should you wish to stand up.
I think I would like to stand up.
You do so. Getting up on your feet, you still have your action and lots of momentum. You are face to face with a Zentarum elite captain. Sorry, I have these tokens backwards. 1 second.
It took my bonus action as well to stand up?
You know, you passed that reflex save, so we'll say you keep your bonus action. I think that seems reasonable. I think if you had failed the reflex save, you would have lost it. But you still have your action and your bonus action. You used all your movement. You scramble to your feet, doing your best.
I would like to cast telekinesis, and with the ability of my robe, I would like to choose 8 targets. So I would like to choose the 3 I can see in sight.
Got it.
Can I ask how many spell slots this is taking?
1 moment. So this is how many 5th level spell slots do you have left?
I have
1?
2 5th level spell slots total. And I have not used any of them, so I have both of them. If possible, I would like to only use 1 at great personal loss.
Do you know what this reminds you of, Ada? Reminds you of the first time you ever opened your book. You feel something ripping at you. You can cast this as a 5th level spell using 1 spell slot. Why don't you do so?
I do so.
You do so. You pick up the 3 Zentarum agents, and there's no save or anything, it's just concentration, correct?
Yes, and I can move them up to 30 feet in any direction. So it's not clear to me if I can move all of them at once, since this is a bespoke magical item.
You can move all of them once. You can move a little array of these Zentarum through the air. You do so casting the spell, surging with the power of the demon weave. You can feel a fire inside of your head. Ada, you feel like you're losing consciousness quickly. It remains your turn.
Am I able to move all of them?
You are.
I would like to scrape this one and this one, the ones on the stairs, away from me, both along the ceiling.
You do so. What about the caster?
The caster, I would like to wedge up into the ceiling corner so that she no longer can see me, if possible.
You try to break line of sight by smashing her up against the wall.
Maybe I'll turn her.
You try to turn her away. Blood, it seems like it's rushing through your head in a peculiar way, Ada. This reminds you of something someone told you once about watching for the symptoms of a stroke. Still your turn, Ada. You smash the 2 Zentarum. You hear their armor grinding against the granite of the walls. You watch as one of them moves strangely over Euros. They both get caught on the lip as it goes downstairs. They take damage from this. 1 second. Let me roll damage for this.
Yes, no problem.
Please continue.
I would like to forego my bonus action because I realize something awful is happening to me, and I'm just trying to maintain concentration until the cavalry arrive.
You do your best to hold the concentration. Brenner with a 2.
Brenner's just dropping Dale.
You do so. You drop him on the ground.
To himself, as he's charging past, he figures, if Dale's such a good safecracker, maybe he can break us all out of a vern.
You leave Roger Dale to die. The last thing you think about him is a smarmy, cutting thought. You transgress.
That's fair. That is as far as Brenner can go. I would like to push past this table or rack of armaments if possible.
You push it over, in fact, sending swords clattering to the ground.
Actually, I can take the dash action still, correct?
Yes, you can.
You can make it that far.
You do so. At the top of the order, swimming through unconsciousness, Euros, make a death saving throw.
Did I already get 1 or 2 fails from him?
You got 1 fail from him stepping on your rib cage.
17.
You pass.
Yeah.
The Zentarim caster is next. You have her pressed up against the wall here, Ada. She does her best to writhe around. She can barely see you and points down past you. You hear her words. She says, "Wall of ice." Ice appears from the ground. You can feel the chill in the air as she seals the stairs using the wall of ice spell. She is still in the air and can take no other actions. She ends her turn. Gastmere with a 19.
Does the wall of ice not hit me?
The wall of ice does not hit you. I think that it is well within reason that she's unable to target directly or precisely as you hold her up in the air.
One last question before you move on. I apologize.
No problem.
Does the wall of ice prevent me from seeing the people I'm telekinesing?
No, it is behind you. You can
Got it.
you can still see. You still have visual on all the people you were holding up in the air.
Got it. Okay. I will. Sorry. Go ahead.
Don't be sorry. She ends her turn. Gastmere with a 19.
She's going to keep going down the stairs, and presumably she's running into the wall of ice here.
Correct. One moment. You arrive face to face with a massive wall of frozen ice. The air is extremely chilly all around it. You can see through this ice. It's very clear, and you think you see Ada pressed up against it just on the other side of it. You see other figures too, but they're distorted by the ice.
And it reaches all the way up to the ceiling.
It does.
Well, not very much I can do here. Besides the obvious, she's gonna close her fist and slam it into the wall of ice.
Roll to hit. You attempt to strike a weak spot in the wall of ice.
22.
22 hits. Roll damage.
I think that because this is an unarmed attack, it just does like technically 1 point of damage plus my strength, which is 9, so 10.
You punch the wall. Your gauntlets take chunks of ice out of it. You can see that you've done damage to this section of it, but it is certainly not breached. Chunks of icicles fly everywhere.
Oh, she's gonna punch it again.
Roll to hit.
$18.
18 hits.
That's another 10 points of damage.
You punch it again. You knock more ice off of it, but it's still intact. You can still see through it, but the chunks you've taken out of it have started to make it a little bit opaque. You can see that there is some type of action happening. It appears that people are flying through the air, something incomprehensible to you. The wall still holds.
I will end my turn.
You end your turn face to face with a wall of ice. The Zentarum Elite Halberdier goes. He is suspended up in the air. Scraping against the wall. He feels around his belt, looking for something he could even throw at you, Ada, but comes up with nothing. He doesn't seem to have a ranged weapon. He ends his turn as you struggle to hold him aloft. It feels like your brain is swimming in blood. Taldrid Talton with a 15.
Taldrin will move down the stairs into the next area.
You do so. As you round the corner, you see Lissa Gastmere punching and punching and punching the wall in front of her.
All right. Upon seeing that, Taldrid will cast Sacred Flame at this ice.
Okay.
Can a wall make a dex save?
I think it automatically fails. The stat block for Wall of Ice does not specify this. It automatically fails a dex save as far as I'm concerned. Go ahead and roll the Radiant.
Okay. It's 15.
You use Sacred Flame to blast through the ice wall. Chunks of ice go flying across the room. What is left where the wall of ice was is a sheet of frigid air. You see rime hanging in the air, and you realize that this is sharp for a reason to penalize you walking through it. It remains your turn.
Taldrid walks forward and kind of drinks this in. He doesn't have much momentum left, so he's just going to stand in front of Ada.
You do so.
Raise his shield.
You realize something. There is blood coming from Ada's nose. The Zentarum captain goes. He is being held up against the wall by Ada. He takes a dagger off of his belt and throws it towards you, Ada. What's your AC?
15.
His dagger sails harmlessly past you. Using his bonus action, you see him whisper something. His lips move even though he says nothing.
There's more coming.
You sense the shadow weave is strong in this place. He ends his turn. Ada with a 4-. Ada, make a Constitution saving throw.
5.
Take 14 psychic
Will do.
and make the concentration save to hold your telekinesis.
I pass.
You hold your spell. You realize that your face is getting wet.
I will. I will walk around Taldred so I can get a bead on the Zentarum Elite that I am trying to face away from me. And I will attempt to cast Eldritch Blast on them.
Your target is the Zentarum Elite Halberdier, is that correct, on the left? Or the captain on the right? The captain has a bastard sword and shield. The Elite Halberdier is still clutching his halberd up in the air. The captain was the one who winged the dagger at you.
Probably the one who didn't attack me.
The Halberdier, the Elite in the back. Got it.
Yes.
You are casting Eldritch Blast. Go ahead.
Yes, this target is bloodied, so I do not need to make an attack roll.
He's not bloodied.
Did he not take damage from being bonked against the ceiling?
He took damage, but bloodied means below 50%.
Understood. I will make an attack. 13.
13 misses.
10. 22.
22 hits.
7 damage.
Necrotic.
Eldritch Flash is force, I believe. And hold on 1 second.
Holding on.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
It remains your turn, Ada.
I will take a step behind Taldred once more. And I will say, Yoros is dying. I don't know where Nothing Gold is. I can't hold it much longer. The end.
As she talks to you, Taldred, you realize that blood is spattering from her lips and lands on the back of your armor. Brenner with a 2.
Stomping down the staircase as far as he can.
1 moment. You arrive face to face with a partial ice wall. To your left, you see rime, icy crystals hanging in the air. In front of you, you see a solid block of ice. The air here is chilled. On the other side of the frigid air, you can see Ada with blood running down her neck. You can see Taldred at the bottom of the stairs on the landing, guarding against something. In the distance, you can see other figures. It's hard to tell what's going on.
More than anything, he knows he needs to be arm in arm with Taldred at this point, forming a shield wall. Doesn't know what's on the other end of this. He has free reign. I'm sorry. Let's back this up. How much movement did going down the stairs go?
It is seamless. The stairs lead into the other stairs here. So
Probably 10.
I didn't record your original position, so I'm trusting your accounting based on the facts I just gave you.
He's going to push past Gasmere. As he's passing through this frigid ice wall, use the bonus action to cast the Seed of Flame, or Beacon of Flame.
When you move through the frigid air where the wall of ice was, make a Constitution saving throw. The air cuts at you. The rime sticks to your skin. It finds purchase. Ice crystals cut at you as you try to move through here. Take 23 cold.
That doesn't lower his movement at all.
Let me check the spell text. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It just cuts at you as you try to cut through here.
As the rime coats him, he'll be casting the Beacon of Flame. A seed of fire appears above Brenner, a writhing mass of brambles. Light me up! Well, he's never explained this. He's going to keep pushing through as far as he can to form a shield wall with help. We'll end his turn there.
You do so. You call out and hope that Ada understands. At the top of the order, Euros with a 28 make a death saving throw.
Well,
You pass.
hooray. I
The
pass my turn.
Zentarum caster. You have her smashed up against the ceiling, Ada, but she looks down at you and points directly at you. One moment. She casts Chain Lightning, targeted on you. The 3 additional targets are... Let me see. We can hit... Do we have 2 people on the same square here? Is Taldred on Ada's square? I think that's what's happening.
No,
Aldridge
no,
is
she's
ahead of
behind.
mine.
He's
She's
north of-
behind. Ada's behind Talder.
Are we having roll 20 issues?
Yes, you should say, feel free to look at the VOD later. You can see on my...
There's no VOD.
There's a VOD. It's on my...
Here, check in Avernus chat what I see. And what I intend for my position to be.
I think it's correct on my other browser. So I'm just... that's fine. Okay. I see. Got it. Thank you. You are targeted by Chain Lightning. The 3 additional targets are Taldred, Brenner, and Gastmere. Can all of you roll a dexterity saving throw?
Ada and Taldred add 4.
Eight.
22.
16.
It's 20 from Taldred.
Nope, because
Oh,
I
you
was
fixed
at.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
The 16 is modified?
Yes,
that correct?
that is the 16. It is.
Okay. Gastmere?
Dirty 20.
Okay. One moment. Taldred and Ada take 38 lightning.
I am down.
Brenner and Gastmere take 19 lightning. In this enclosed space, a massive thunderbolt smashes you to the ground. If you are unable to hold yourself against it, the effect is devastating. The caster smiles and dusts herself off as she lands on the ground. The 2 Zentarum elites do the same. The Zentarum elite in the back stretches his neck and readies his halberd. She ends her turn. Gastmere with a 19.
Eris is down. Ada is down as well.
Correct.
Nothing gold is nowhere in sight.
You haven't seen Nothing Gold in minutes now.
With her bonus action, she casts Judgment upon Nothing Gold for abandoning them in their time of need.
Nothing Gold, you transgress somewhere beyond the plains. It remains your turn, Gasmir.
After that, she will pull out the black book,
Okay.
open it, and drag a page out.
You
Give me 2 seconds.
read from the black book. Please roll this. Yes, go ahead and let's see. I love this. Yes, let's see this d20.
Fuck, this is an awkward angle. Trying to get my... Sorry.
You use your action to draw a page from your black book. Twelve. You draw the Ten of Cups. You receive a bag of holding that contains, I'll roll this in a moment, 1 second, that contains thousands of gold pieces, electrum pieces, flawless diamonds, and brilliant emeralds. You are granted great riches. 1 moment.
From nothing gold to all the gold.
When you look into your bag of holding, you'll find what's in there. It remains your turn. You look at the Ten of Cups before you.
Sorry, where's the black holding? I'm having trouble navigating the...
I didn't give it to you yet, but as soon as you look into it, I will tell you how many emeralds, diamonds, gold that you have received.
She stares at the page that she ripped out, and then she looks in the bag.
You see 3,000 gold, 4,000 electrum, 6 flawless diamonds, and 12 brilliant emeralds. You see great riches. You can only imagine if you were able to spend these somewhere. You have the purse of a small nation inside of your hand. This would be the start of a royal treasury. If only your family could see you now.
She stares into the bag a moment, and then she violently hurls it across the floor so that all the riches inside are scattered all over the stone. And she screams wordlessly. And then there's some swearing.
You do so.
I think that's my action.
Riches beyond imagination scatter uselessly across the floor. Diamonds land at the feet of your incapacitated party. You end your turn. The Zentarum elite halberdier goes with a 16. He seems relatively untested. He still looks fresh. There's a few dents in his armor from being thrown around by Ada, but otherwise, he seems to be not just in good shape, but in good spirits. Adding to that, when he walks past Yoros, he lines up and kicks his head. He kicks you in the side of the head, Yoros. You fail. Another death saving throw. He moves past you, putting you at 2 and 2, I believe. He moves forward. Actually, he only has to go there. And uses his action to attempt to skewer you, Taldred, with his halberd. He makes 2 attacks. 19 misses, I'm sure. 24.
That's the magic number.
24 hits.
Yep.
Take 14 slashing. He ends his turn, and it becomes your turn, Taldred.
Fantastic.
Taldred, for free, roll wisdom.
As a save?
Just straight wisdom.
Okay. $23.
That kick to Euros' head seems like it could have been fatal, or certainly tried to hurry him along. It's your action.
Okay. Taldred is going to channel divinity. And we're going to get... We're going to get 10 HP to Euros, 10 HP to Ada, and 40 HP to Taldred.
Does that cause either of you to stand up? I think in your... Yeah, in Euros' case, I think not. In Ada's case, yes.
Oh? My understanding was that there is no, like, negative value in 5e, is there? Like, you can go over and die, but a single point of healing brings you back up, doesn't it?
I thought it had to get you back to 0. I thought if you were at negative X, you have to get back to 0. Is that incorrect?
I thought it was if a single hit takes you, like, negative your HP amount, that insta-kills you, but otherwise there's no negative value.
Okay. I see Frample nodding, and I tend to agree with his expertise. Both of you stand up. You are ripped back to consciousness with the aid of Taldred contacting the Seldarine. It remains your turn, Taldred.
Indeed it do. Taldred, seeing both of them stand up, feels much better. He looks at the Zentarum and he says, "What's the matter? You didn't bring a healer?"
The elite and the captain look at each other with a sense of amusement. The captain looks at you and says, "We don't need one."
I'll make sure you do.
You'll try. Go ahead.
That is the end of Taldred's turn.
You end your turn. The Zentarum captain, recently taunted, goes with a 12. Euros, you are back up. You stand up in front of the Zentarum captain. It becomes his turn. It is thus that he attempts to strike you down again with his bastard sword. I'll do the attacks one at a time. 21. He misses, trying to spear you to the ground. He cannot connect. He misses again. 25. He catches you with his bastard sword. He gets you under the arm and he pulls. 17 slashing.
Sit back down.
You fall back down to the ground. He uses his movement. He steps over you. And gets in front of his halberdier. The two of them combined in this hallway make it difficult to move forward. He attacks you, Brenner. He swings at you with his sword. using his bonus action to make a reckless attack that misses. 11. He ends his turn. Ada with a 4.
I am going to cast Toll the Dead at the captain.
You do so.
Can I see the caster? The caster can consistently see me, so maybe I can see the caster.
You can see the caster. Yes, feel free to ask. Yes, you can see the caster.
I would like to cast Toll the Dead at the caster.
Okay. She is injured.
She is injured?
She is injured. She took a minor amount of damage from you tossing her up into the air. You watched as the 3 Zentarum were all battered a bit by the ceiling.
Got it. $25 damage. Brain damage.
Is it psychic? I think it's necrotic.
Toll the Dead's necrotic.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You do so. You ring her head like a bell. She grits her teeth painfully. You can hear the creaking sound as her teeth gnash into each other. It remains your turn, Ada.
I'm going to shove my hand in my pocket and grasp around the cloth that holds the Eye of Vecna, but decide nothing, and pass my turn.
You do so. At the bottom of the order, Brenner with a 2.
Currently being harried by the captain ahead of him, and the halberdier he'll just attempt to stab straight forward.
Which one do you target?
The one directly north of him, the elite captain.
Got it.
$21.
21 hits. Oh, sorry, the captain, 21 misses.
Continue stab. $13 definitely misses, and as his bonus action, attempt to jab him with the butt of the spear. 27.
27 hits.
For 18 bludgeoning / radiant damage.
Got it. You stab him in the chest. The first real hit that someone's landed on any of them. You stab him, and his armor crushes a bit as it fails to fully withstand the blow.
The seed over Brenner's head dissipates. He tries to summon it again. He can do so twice per long rest. Light me up, or we fucking die. And my turn.
You end your turn. You hear something. The door on the west, you hear. The caster looks over her shoulder and goes back on the door. The door opens. A faceless reaver steps through. The door remains open. One moment. At the top of the order, Euros with a 28. Make a death saving throw. You pass.
Yeah.
I had a question.
Okay.
about when the door opened. Was there like a rush of air when it opened up?
There was, yes, a rush of cool air comes through. And you can see down the hallway now. It's sparse, illuminated by a single light. There's another door at the end of this hallway that remains closed. This door is now open. The caster remains well protected, stays where she is, peeks around the corner out of partial cover, points at you, and winks Brenner. She says, "Magic missile," and casts magic missile. Take 17 force.
I'm done.
You are downed. She grins and stretches. She sways back and forth a little bit, and seeming to look at you, Ada, says, "Just another day at the office." Gasmir with a 19.
We need a miracle, and as always, the miracles of this world are full of shite, she says. And she is going to rage, predictably, leaps up and onto the wall, which allows her to pass by both her allies and the elite. And she's going to come down on the wall above the caster's head, and she's going to try and tear it off. I'm attacking her.
Let's
And
unpack.
I'm actually going to use one of the knives as well this time, so she grows the tail. She attacks with the skewer first, and then she's going in with the stabbies.
May I interrupt for one second? I just want to make sure that I know exactly where you are. So the wall in front of you is broken down. By passing through it, you will incur rime cutting at you. The wall on the right side is still up. Okay, so let's do the rime damage first. Make a Constitution
Do I roll?
saving throw.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that succeeds because it's 19 plus a really tiny number plus 7, so 26.
Take 7 cold. You steel yourself against the rime, and you're able to do so. Now, please continue your movement. I'm sorry. It sounds like you were going to be diagonal up on the wall, up above the caster. Is that right?
Yes, I believe this female presenting person is the caster.
Correct.
Okay, yes, she's going to be on the wall above her, and she's going to skew her down recklessly with the rapier first.
Would Electrify still be in play since it lasts an hour?
It's been less than an hour. That's right.
Okay.
That is a 23 on the first hit.
23 hits.
Oh, but the electrify was on.
The claws, yes.
Her claw is not a rapier.
Yeah.
Taldrade, as you have these thoughts about electrification, you realize how much this room smells like the burning keratin of the skin of your allies.
14 points of. I think it's actually. Actually, no, piercing.
Piercing?
Piercing, yes.
Got it. Let me roll the concentration save on the wall of ice. 1 second. She fails. You stab her, and while her rib stops the rapier, she exhales, and the wall of ice falls to pieces on the ground. It remains your turn.
She spins that dagger in her offhand and stabs down with it.
Your throwing dagger?
Yes, I believe you can still like stab it.
You absolutely
It just
can.
doesn't get the like increased crit range as a melee weapon, but that's an 18 plus 13, so I'm pretty sure that hits.
It does.
What do you mean it doesn't get the increased crit range?
Because it's not thrown, like if you look at how it's worded.
It is meant to be tossed. You can hold this thing in your hand, but it's a little bit unwieldy. It's not balanced for something like this.
That is 12 points of piercing.
You do so. You stab down. It gets her in the collarbone. Blood gushes out over her black robe.
These last two are basically like rabbits. Stab, stab kind of motion. (16 plus 13 hits. (11 points of piercing.
You stab her again.
Another day at the office.
She taunts down at the caster.
You do so, taunting her as you stab at her. Her blood sprays across your face.
May I also add something that I would have done before I started skittering the wall because I was drawing weapons and stuff then? She would have simply discarded the black book, like, on the floor
Okay.
somewhere in front of her, so it's back there.
Sure. In frustration, you tossed it away after pulling the Ten of Cups. It lands on the ground unceremoniously.
I end my turn.
You end your turn. The Zentarum Elite Halberdier goes. He attempts to skewer you, Taldred, attacking twice. 26.
That's a hit.
14 slashing. He attacks again. It's a natural 1. One moment. He goes a bit too far. He loses his balance, provoking an attack of opportunity. Brenner is down. Taldred has no wielded weapon. Gastmere, make an attack of opportunity on the halberdier.
Uh, 24. Yes.
24 hits.
Fuck, I'm 7 plus 9. 16 points of piercing.
You do so, finding purchase in his armpit as he loses his balance. He ends his turn. Taldred Talton with a 15.
Here comes the fun stuff. I have a 5th level spell slot, 1. And I want to cast a 5th level spell. Shall we see how that goes?
Go ahead. Give it a shot.
Would love to. Taldred casts Mass Cure Wounds.
You cast Mass Cure Wounds. One moment. Actually, you roll me a d8.
Okay. Do I want to be higher or lower?
Maybe it's not one of those tables.
5.
You cast Mass Cure Wounds. One moment. Go ahead and assign people's hit points while I assign something.
I'll get 22 HP. And me, I guess.
Taldred, you violate the natural order. You do surge with the power of the Seldrine. However, it is such that you feel that you have committed a transgression.
Really?
Did everyone get Taldred's hit points?
It was 22 each.
22 to everybody, including Yoros, who is back up again.
Euros, you are ripped back to consciousness.
I am I'm so sorry.
Anything else for your turn, Taldred?
Can I get more info about how this transgression feels?
Sure. You feel that you asked for seconds while people out there are starving.
Yeah, but I'm trying to save the world.
As you watch Yoros clamber back to his feet, you hope that you're able to save something of this.
Sure as fuck do. Sorry, this is my turn. Turn over.
The Faceless Reaver takes its movement, walking into the melee. It takes its move. It advances wordlessly towards you, Taldred. It attacks you 4 times. It tries to punch you in the gut. What's your AC? Just to make this easier.
24.
Okay. Its first attack misses. Its second attack misses. Its third attack misses. Its fourth attack misses. It swings and swings and swings, and it keeps catching the edge of your shield. Your armor is a bit too thick. No matter how much it punches, it can't seem to connect. It ends its turn. The Zentarum Captain is up. He now has a Reaver to his right, and he fights confidently. Brenner Oswick, are you back up? Did you just stand up in his face?
Correct, yeah.
The captain attempts to bash you with his shoulder. This reminds you of something you saw Samantha do once. He misses. He tries to drop his shoulder and hit you, but he can't seem to connect. He attacks with his bastard sword. 23.
No, sir.
Second attack misses too. He ends his turn.
Quick need for clarification on abattoir floor, the shield
Sure.
that Bulge is wielding. It says any who strikes you has a 50% chance of being impaled, yada yada. That only counts for attacks that connect, I assume?
Correct. Yes, someone has to. Yes, how it works is it's like spikes on a shield. You stop it, and like yeah, so exactly. Like they get caught in the spikes of the shield.
Okay.
Ada with a 4 minus.
I'm going to mutter to myself, I'm saving this for tyranny. Brenner, can I get in?
You want to swap spaces with?
Yes, I do.
If anybody else asked, he would not. He trusts Ada. He'll back up.
I would like to, with my solo 6th level spell slot, and let me be clear, I don't give a shit what happens to me.
Okay.
Cast Sunbeam, including all 4 combatants.
Is this
Okay.
in... Sunbeam is a radiant spell, correct?
Yes.
This would affect the seed, correct? Just to back up a couple seconds, if you want to cast it through the seed.
Oh, I can do that?
Yes, that's Brenner has been trying to cajole you to do this for 2 turns
I
now.
would like to cast it through the seed, yes. Can I unswap with Brenner?
You may.
Okay. I would like to deflect this through your divine seed.
There's a... Yes, it's divine seed. There's a roiling mass of tenderly brambles hovering above Brenner's head, about 1.5 feet. This thing is crackling with energy. And he's been beckoning you or anyone else to quote-unquote light it up.
I will light it the fuck up. I would like to cast Sunbeam, deflecting through this like a prism of sorts.
You do so, centering Sunbeam on and around Brenner Oswick.
The book closes on a finger.
Brenner, your book actually, hold that thought. Brenner, you act as a pylon for Cleansing Flame. The area of effect spell that is targeted on you causes no damage. Your evocation wizard has spell sculpting anyway. So the sculpt spell ability of this is wasted. So you do an additional D4 damage for each paladin level. How many paladin levels do you have?
D6.
D6, that's right, because it's over 10th
12.
level. You're right. So you're adding 12 D6 radiant damage in addition to the normal damage done from Sunbeam.
Correct, and the spell DC is improved by 3, as well as it's an additional 30 feet of spell.
What is your spell DC, Ada?
21, so it becomes 24.
Okay.
So 68 plus. Did I hear that right? 10d6.
Sorry, no, that's 12d6.
12d6
12d6.
additional radiant damage. That was spell DC 24 after the adjustment. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Correct.
Okay.
70.
70 radiant.
Yes.
You blast this hallway. At once, incandescent light, massive, infinite light flows from atop of Brenner's head. The Zentarum Elite caster is instantly vaporized, turned into nothingness. She is massively destroyed by this sunbeam. The radiant damage envelops her and turns her into nothingness. The Zentarum Elite is knocked unconscious. The Zentarum Elite captain holds his shield up as the radiant damage envelops him, singeing his hair and ripping his skin off, exposing the red flesh beneath. Blood runs from his opened face. He looks more demonic than human at this point as Ada has ripped his flesh off. Ada, it remains your turn.
Okay, so something bad happens to me. Can I, expecting this as a person,
Okay.
pass out?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You have a sense of dread. You think that something bad is probably coming.
I'm pushed to my limit.
Yes, you are pushed to your limit. You overclock your brain. You slump over, completely unconscious. Sounds reasonable to me. Save the
And
D8.
I would like to be ignorant about what's actually happening to me. This is an imagined ailment that I've inflicted upon myself.
You maintain a perfect position within the veil of ignorance. Brenner Oswick with a 2.
This man in front of him is still standing, correct?
Yes, he's still standing. He is covered in blood. His flesh has been ripped from his skull. His eyes peer out from no eyelids.
Almost solemnly, Brenner will try to end this man's life. He probably hears Ada collapsing to his side, and he wants to finish this as quickly as possible.
Yes, Ada lands with a thump at your feet.
25
25 hits.
or 12 damage.
Typed piercing, correct?
Piercing that isn't mitigated, and plus a little bit of radiant 4.
Roll the radiant.
The radiant was 4.
Oh, 4. Okay. It remains your turn.
A 16, I assume, misses.
It does.
A crit with a 29. 30 damage.
You line up your spear with his neck. Thrusting forward, you find his spine. You cleave through his neck, leaving little left there. He gurgles on the ground, his neck bent back at an awkward position.
Trying to keep that momentum as he's carrying the man down. We'll try to stand over his body between the rest of the party and the fallen Ada behind him, surrounding this vanguard.
You do so.
And end my turn.
You end your turn. We're at the top of the order and it's 7:14. Do you want to take a fiver?
Sounds good.
Okay, be back in 5. Did Jules say anything? Just checking. Welcome back. At the top of the order, Euros with a 28. Or sorry, Frample, did you...
Oh no, I'm cheering from the grandstand.
Understood. Euros with a 28. The action's with you.
Just gonna limp over quietly behind the Reaver. Just jam both swords in.
You do so.
Since he is flanked on all four sides, is his attack at advantage?
Yes. You have a lot of time to line up an attack on this Reaver now, as you are literally surrounding it with your teammates.
23.
23 hits, including Gasper's like up on the wall above this. So you surround this thing in all axes.
It's not always too far away, I think. Or is he too far away to benefit from Aura Victory?
He's within 5 feet. He's adjacent to you.
And damage?
Got it. Still your turn.
Yeah, this is the bonus action for the other sword. 27.
27 hits.
8.
8 slashing. Got it.
That gets piercing. So, first one was 10 slashing, second one is 8 piercing.
Got it.
With her bonus attack. 25.
25 hits.
15. Slashing.
You slash and pierce at this faceless construct. It seems that its armor is baked by the sunbeam, and you're just stabbing at this brittle piece of nothingness. It gives no response as you stab and cut and break into it. It feels no pain. Anything else on your turn?
On that last attack, I'm going to attempt to cast a Banishing Smite with my bonus. Or wait, no, I already used my bonus. So yeah, just, I'm done.
Gastmere with a 19.
Reaver is surrounded and these are at advantage, was it?
Yes, you are attacking at advantage. This faceless construct is surrounded by you and your allies.
She'll go in with the rapier first. Visual light. 28.
28 hits.
Oh, 11 points of piercing. And she's gonna swap off the dagger into the claws because I believe we read a book that said something about these things being vulnerable to lightning. And it doesn't have any veins to bleed, so she will take slices with the claws. Oh, 27.
27 hits.
Oh, 15 points of slashing and 4 points of thunder. Lightning! Yes, lightning.
Your lightning cuts through this. You can smell smoke as the lightning seems to gather something within it and cause it to burn. Still your turn.
There's a horrendous screeching sound as the last claw attack kind of lingers and drags on its armor, trying to pierce through it. That's level 12, so that adds up to 25, I think.
25 hits.
Another max on the piercing, so 15 points of... No, slashing. 15 points of slashing, and... it's an 8 on the lightning damage. As the claws as fuck.
Lightning cuts through this. Its helm is briefly electrified as you cut into it with your claws. It still remains standing, even as chunks of its armor fall onto the ground, along with the diamonds and gold that you left here.
I cannot understand the wrath of somebody who is trying to tear it into ribbons. But Gafnir hisses nonetheless.
You hiss at this automaton. It does not respond. It doesn't even have a face to look at you with.
I shall end my turn.
You end your turn. At the end of the hallway, you hear a door open. A small dwarf clad in overalls walks past and holds up his arms. He says, "I'm not even here. I'm not even here." He takes his movement and ends his turn. Nothing golden. Ada with a 4.
I'm out.
Make a death saving throw.
No, he went unconscious.
You purposely went unconscious. That's right. Okay.
I mean,
Sorry.
if you would like me to.
No, I understood. You are unconscious, slumped over on the ground. Brenner with a 2.
In following with the larger ones, he's just going to assume the knees or the legs are a weak point to these as well. He'll try to focus his attacks towards the knee plate. A 20
20 hits.
for 19 damage.
You take off its left leg, and it falls suddenly useless to the ground.
He immediately turns to Taldr. Get her up. Fuck.
Taldred looks at Ada. He tries to... Well, actually, Taldred calls out to the door. Says, "Hey, don't go anywhere, okay? 1 second."
He looks away from you, avoiding eye contact.
Taldred goes, "Brenner, fucking stop him please stop him."
In a continuous motion, if possible, Brenner will try to follow the dwarf down the hall.
He runs away from you. He runs down the stairs.
Brenner's not going to follow.
Taldred tries to wake Ada.
It works. Ah, we got him. We got him. Okay.
Taldred, like, pats her on the shoulder. He goes, "You did great, Slugger."
We don't have anything left. Where the fuck is Nothing Gold? I haven't heard from her.
And Taldred starts going through his mental checklist of checking on all party members, and he's like,
She told me she was on the 5th floor and she ran into a vault. I'm gonna get myself up and dust myself off. I'll wipe the blood from my face as fast as I can.
"Let's go after that dwarf. He might have keys."
What dwarf?
How fast is this dwarf running? Because Gasmir sees a moving target and she's not done raging yet, and she's got 40 movement. Does the dwarf run faster than that? I'm pretty sure dwarves have 25.
He does not. He does not. Yes, he has 25 movement. He is. Yes. Do you attempt to stop him as he goes down the stairs?
Yes. She's bodily like fucking flying at his back and trying to tackle him to the floor.
Okay, one moment. You tackle him to the floor on the stairs. You and him both tumble down the stairs together. You arrive somewhere new. The party sees Lyssa Gasmir, raging, throws herself at this dwarf, and they both go tumbling down the stairs, landing roughly at the bottom. You land in a pile with this gibbering dwarf, Gasmir. He is trying very hard to show you that he's a non-combatant. Both of his hands are up. He shakes his head. Says, "Nay, no, no."
She kind of leans down very, very close, and she goes, "Who the fuck are you?" While, like, grabbing hold of his clothing.
He looks back and forth. "I just work here." He looks terrified.
Good.
His eyes are massive.
Don't you know the layout of the place? You're coming with me.
He says, okay, that's fine. I won't fight you. Just don't kill me. I've done nothing wrong."
Behave, and you'll be fine. She drags him up. Whoop! And starts dragging him back up the stairs.
You do so. One moment.
Kind of with the manner of a hunting dog that has caught something, and it's proudly bringing it back to everyone else to look at.
You drag this dwarf back up the stairs. We're off initiative order.
There was talk of emeralds.
They're spread all over the floor. Almost like a carpet. There are emeralds, diamonds, gold pieces.
So the emeralds were like huge, you said, right?
Correct.
Like Taldred's not, trying to vacuum this up. He just picks the emeralds like he's just. If
You gather 6 huge emeralds.
I'm gonna cluck in disapproval and push past. And I'm gonna check on Yoros. I'm gonna put my arm on Yoros' shoulder. Yoros, you are right there. It was a little touch and go for a second.
You should have just let me die. I can't
No.
do anything.
No,
Spells
I'm not
don't
going
work.
to let you
My
die.
weapons don't work.
Listen, Yoros. This is the home stretch. I don't have anything left in me either, but I'm not gonna stop. And neither are you.
All I can do is wave around these sticks.
That's
Yeah,
all
and
you
so
can
could I
do
fucking
anyway.
did.
But your sticks at least have fire.
On your fucking feet.
Just give me a second.
Brenner will pretty aggressively walk towards the slumped over Yoros and put his new oaken arm on his shoulder, trying to heft him up to his feet.
The party feels something. The whole keep shakes a little bit. Something to your west. It just seems like something's bashing into a wall.
That could be one of the vanguards. I think we should get out of here.
He turns to Gaspar. Where's Nothing Gold?
Oh, we know she's betrayed us. How should I know where she is?
She's supposed to be going downstairs.
Then we go downstairs. And not towards whatever the fuck that is.
The technician looks up at you, Gasmere, and says, "Please just let me go. I'll answer any questions you have. I just work here."
Then what's the noise?
That's the fucking ogre. That's why I'm trying to leave.
What's the ogre?
I don't fucking know. There's just an ogre.
Dale had it.
He's in here rampaging through everything. He's stuck in the forges, I think.
How do we open the forges?
Well, if you're not an ogre, you just go through the door.
Do you have keys?
I have plenty of keys.
That's what we'd like to hear.
Trade you my keys for my life.
What's downstairs? Where were you headed?
He pauses for a moment. I just wanted to get somewhere safe.
No, you hesitated. What's down there?
Answer.
It's the safest part of the keep, that's all.
Tear your fucking throat out. Be
Why?
specific.
It's just the most secure place. I wouldn't be on the other side. The open mine. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't want to be over there.
Why not? What are they mining for?
I'm trying to get away from whatever's going on over there. Didn't you just feel the whole place shake? I want to get away from that. Thank you.
And you're still answering questions.
I'll throw you my keyring. Is that what you want? Just let me go. I'm a civilian. I know nothing of this place. I work on the constructs, that's all.
Can I insight check that?
Sure. What exactly are you attempting to discern here?
It's a 17, and Taldred, I mean, he's trying to figure out, this guy, he believes he's a quote-unquote civilian, but he's maintenance. He's a technician. He knows the layout and all that very well, and he feels like he's holding back.
You think that he's not really holding back as much as he's overwhelmed and has a fear of death. He has a fear of death within him. You think that he's giving you hurried answers because he really just wants you to leave him alone. You can tell he's scared. His pupils are huge, Taldred.
Taldred says, if we let you go, where are you going to scatter to?
I'll go to the deep living quarters, and you won't see me again.
Give us the keys.
Fine. One moment.
How do we command the Reavers?
Give me 1 second on the keys. He throws you a key ring. There's 2 keys on it. You ask him how to command the Reavers. He looks at you and says, "You don't look like the psionic type. I'm not sure that you can. Just stay away from them. They're not that smart."
What do you mean they're not that smart?
They're only as smart as the people giving them orders.
Who's giving them orders?
Who do you think?
Taldred is a little bit miffed, yeah.
I gave you my keys. Can I please
You'll
go?
get your life. One more question. When you came that way with the ogre, did you see a short one, fiery?
Short, fiery. No, I saw a human woman. I don't know who you're talking about. What's his name? He's trying to jog his memory. The intruder, whatever. He came in with them yesterday.
Yeah, human woman. Well, we know where they are. He's looking back to the group at this point, almost dismissive of the door.
Taldrin presses one more time. What's downstairs? And he points towards those stairs that he clambered down. What is down there?
The deep living quarters. It's just safe there, that's all. That's where I'm going.
All right.
I just want to be away from whatever this is. None of this concerns me.
Are there guards in there?
There's guards everywhere. Anywhere that...
Obviously, he's going to raise the alarm, folks. Although
The alarms are...
they already know we're here.
The alarm's already raised, friends. Everybody knows you're here.
Hey, less talking. I'm not talking to you.
He bows his head.
Renner, these were Zentarum Elite. What are they armed with? Anything usable? Anything that'll help us?
Brenner kind of shakes himself back into trying to focus on the task at hand and will bend down towards the guy he's standing over at this point. I don't think he's...
Castamere is going to release the dwarf.
You do
Give him
so.
A slow, deliberate push. Not a harsh one, just like a releasing a mouse that's still alive and kicking a bit. Take your life and leave.
He needs no additional encouragement, and he takes off running down the stairs. You can hear his little footsteps echoing through what must be a massive empty room.
We have to find nothing gold.
Agreed. Quick bat down.
Yeah.
We Yes.
You hear another massive shake as the entire level seems to move a bit. Something to your west is just smashing into the walls.
That's the ogre we saw in the bar. I think we should release him.
Probably. Nothing gold
Should
first
we?
or that.
Nothing gold first.
Agreed.
We've
Pat him
left
down. You look at that one.
Mr. Dale to die. Do you think his friends will be happy with that?
They don't
Not
fucking
dead.
need to know.
He's not dead yet.
Where is he?
We dropped
Was
him upstairs.
bleeding profusely.
I stopped the bleeding.
Okay, let's get nothing gold. We'll figure out the ogre Dale idiocy. Let's just go down. Last I heard from her, she encountered a vault door on the 5th level and she was trying to open it.
Sounds like that's where the dwarf was heading.
Well, we have his keys now, so I don't know how he's getting through.
Rob,
If nobody else has picked up the book, Castamere will, and then follow the others.
I don't think they did. You gather your book once again.
And the page 12 is gone, correct?
You could draw it again. You could draw the same card twice.
Does it just like regenerate the page, or what's going on?
I imagine it more as a deck. You shuffle it back into the deck.
Okay.
You hear multiple sounds. You hear a creaking from down below. You hear brick giving way, what sounds like a mortar being knocked apart, and you hear a groan of pain from the west.
Are we all ready to go downstairs?
I believe so.
All right, we're heading downstairs quickly.
You do so, shuffling down the stairs. One moment. You hear something as you round the corner. You hear the dwarf yelling, "Yes, yes!" You arrive in a room. It is large and not adorned with anything. Sitting in the middle of the room is a bag of holding and a ring.
Shit.
Do I see the dust?
You see dust everywhere.
Alright, I will approach the bag of holding.
You approach a bag of holding. There are a number of items in here that you recognize as things that the party has picked up.
I'm going to look at the party members. It's not like nothing gold to leave things behind.
It isn't.
An
Take
amber,
forever.
an amber-colored crystal rolls masterlessly on the ground.
Does I figured out what you. I had questions and I already answered. Did she?
I will pick up the message stone.
You do so.
I will attempt to message. Nothing gold, are you here?
I've placed the wide-angle focus crystal on your character sheet. You reach out to Nothing Gold. You receive no response. What do you say?
Are you here? Please talk to me. I will look for anything else, any evidence, maybe footprints.
There are many footprints here. Roll investigation.
Natural 1.
You see footprints everywhere. It's difficult to discern who could have walked here, why. This seems like a fairly high traffic area, all things considered.
What about this ring? I'm gonna pick up this ring.
It looks familiar. It looks like a gem of contingency. You think you've seen something like this before. Something about this feels vaguely alive.
Can I tell what spell is stored in this ring of contingency?
Roll Arcana.
$18.
You feel like you're holding a bit of petrified wood in your hand.
As this is going on, Brenner is shouting into the bag of holding, "Hey, if you're in there, it's okay."
You shout into the bag of holding. It seems to gather your acoustic efforts to contact whatever you're trying to contact. This room is cold and desolate. Taking a deep breath, you inhale dust from the ground.
Brenner just kind of silently grimaces towards Ada.
I think she's not here, or she's unable to respond.
Well, she's dead. She should have one of these. He points towards his arm. She told me they leave behind seeds or... Brenner can't convey what he's trying to mean right now.
Brenner, what are you talking about?
When a dryad, goes, they become a seed, and you have to bring them back to the grove. That's what I'm doing with this one.
The ceiling shakes. Mortar falls on you.
Let's check the vault door.
Okay.
I'm gonna thumb this finger or this ring, and I'm gonna put it on. I'm curious about this thing still.
You place this ring on. One moment. You place it on your finger. The vault door is massive. There is a lever here and some type of cylindrical keyhole. This seems recently used. As you're approaching it, you see the lever reset into its default position. Go ahead.
Who has the key ring here?
The dwarf didn't give you the key.
Obviously he didn't.
Did anyone say who took it? If not, I guess Taldra would have reached for it.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
fair.
so Taldra has the keys. He approaches with the keys.
Don't open it yet. Just see if one matches.
Taldred looks at the keys and the hole and tries to reverse engineer this.
None of these even look close. These look like
Taldred
the kind
shakes his head.
These look like the keys you'd put into a door. This seems like something different entirely. This seems more like a cipher, like something that you'd slide in there and it has to match exactly. Certainly nothing. A key that would go into a keyhole wouldn't even match. All of your keys seem totally alien to this.
Hate to say this, but Taldred, do you still have a restoration spell on your person?
A restoration?
That we need Roger.
Explain. I don't think Roger could open this. He's a lock pick. He picks locks. He doesn't.
And what good is he?
You're preaching to the choir here, okay?
Alright. Ogre. Let's leash out the ogre.
Alright, let's grab what we can off the Zentara. Maybe they have more keys. Maybe they have something.
Before we move on, we are not splitting up again. Rule number 1. Rule number 2. If you have any bullets left to fire, please save them for Tyranny or avoid any fights. Agreed?
Try
Couldn't
to.
agree more.
I did not want to use Sunray there.
And if we didn't, we'd probably have fallen there. Use what bullets you have.
I have one left, and I'm not going to use it until I'm face to face with that scum. And I'll lift the head of Grint out of my bag slightly.
I hope he's worth the hype.
I hope we're worth the hype.
As the party is congregating around the vault door, this pile of ash that is coating the room and the floor, Brenner will lean down towards it. It's ash, all the same. He'll try to touch it with the oaken arm, whatever connection there might be between this burning grove or whatever. Does he sense anything out of it?
You do. You can feel a distant connection. You feel something beyond the plains. Something was here and it is no longer not. Someone is missing. There's a nothing gold-shaped hole in your heart.
And a knot in his throat. Brenner, knowing, handed his most personal object to Nothing Gold, his Book of the Dead. He can't write her name, so he'll begin with the spear tip to carve in an N into the broken arm.
You do so. Mortar falls from the ceiling as the building continues to shake.
We gotta go.
The entire keep seems to be being pushed to its structural limits.
We can honor her by killing Tyranny. Let's go.
Give me the message crystal.
I'll shove it into your hands without looking at you.
Yassine, you best be dead. Because if you're not, I'm killing you myself.
You threaten your friend. You receive no response in return.
Can I make an intelligence check to see if I can recall which part of the party was with us during our encounter at Mike's Tavern?
Do you mean the party of Dale or the party of us?
The party of Dale. Which one of us encountered the ogre, the divinator, and Dale in the back room of the tavern? I know
So
it was me.
Taldred.
It's Taldred, Ada, and Brenner.
Yes. Well, I was gonna make an intelligence check.
Is
that-
she trying to remember a name?
No, I don't care what their names are. I would just want to mention. I want somebody who the ogre saw to step foot in the room first.
I thought actually like they saw all of the party at one point or another, because there was one group that went in there, but then the rest were in there as well. Because I vaguely remember like Yoro's eating a plate of food in that room, and
I think that is true.
it was like looming or something. Ashley does.
Some of us were glowering in the bar, and some of us were interacting with Dale. I cannot remember which, as David Tardif.
I kind of vaguely remember like going between the rooms but not interacting. So
There will not be a check for this.
Okay.
You can't make an in check. What you can piece together, what you can reason together as you just did, is canon.
Sounds good. I'm going to tap Tuldred on the shoulder and I'll say, I think he'll recognize you. You're first through the door.
All right. Okay. That's sensible.
We're looking to parlay, get him on our side.
That's why I'm here.
I agree. That's why I'm talking to you. Now let's go.
Are we moving up?
As you, Gaspmere, any further business here?
no.
One moment. You walk up the stairs, passing by the bodies of several Zentarum agents and a downed Reaver. The door to your west was left ajar.
Tuldred's definitely gonna check the shield of the captain.
I'm going to check the caster.
Since he now has shield envy.
Brenner is preoccupied.
His shield is unremarkable, Taldred. However, his armor seems to be of exceeding quality should you seek to investigate further. You find something on... I'll give you both of these items in one moment. You find something interesting on the caster. Ada, one moment. It's on the party sheet. You find a strange obsidian sphere warm in your hands, and you understand that this armor is of exceeding quality, Taldred. In fact, it reminds you of your own.
I find this orb, or Tuldred does?
You find the orb.
I'm going to immediately give it to Yoros.
Euros, you're presented with something strange. A small black orb.
What is this?
Cast a cantrip. Think through it while you cast it. Not at me, hopefully.
Okay. I will cast Mage Hand through the orb.
What will you use the mage hand for?
I don't know. Flip one of the bodies around.
You surge with the power of the Shadow Weave. You flip one of the bodies onto its back. The halberdier, mangled, is flipped over.
Suppose that's appropriate.
Blood unsettlingly drips down the stairs. A groan echoes through the hallway.
Did they have any, non-equipment items on them? Keys, messages, anything like that we got? Okay.
Nothing of interest.
Then Taldred kind of dips his head towards the west and says, let's roll.
Agreed. And I will linger with Yoros. Yoros, you have all of your spells, and the rest of us are out. You are now the most powerful among us. Let me warn you that if you cast a spell above a cantrip, it'll take 2 slots. And if you push yourself further than that, it'll cause deleterious harm. So be careful.
was about to give myself over just to get a spell off earlier. I don't care anymore. As long as I can help.
We're helping to prevent this in the future. That's why we're here.
If I have this, I want this armor off of me. I'm sick of this.
Can it be taken off?
I haven't been able to do anything with it.
I'm asking if it's cursed.
I don't care.
I'm saying if it's cursed, we don't have time for that.
Well, while you're dealing with the ogre, maybe I can have a change of outfit. These guards seem to have something nice. Maybe I can blend in a little better.
Yeah, Taldred actually says, well, actually, and he holds up the plate armor, which is user-friendly, to say the least. He says, this would probably fit you just fine.
You know what, Yoros? I'll squire you. But let's all stay in eyesight of one another. Who has the message stone?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Here, we'll go down here at the hall. So we'll be within eye and earshot. Maybe we don't have to do a party anyway. And personally, I don't have the energy to deal with an ogre.
I don't think any of us does.
You're not the one that hit death 3 times this week.
I'm gonna look at Gasmere and subtly do a head cock, like suggesting that she should go back up Taldred, because I won't be there.
Taldred is not pushing out without you guys. He's looking down the hallway just to make sure nothing else is coming while Euros gets set up.
Gasmir steps past Ada and drops the message stone into her hand on the way.
I'll nod.
And then looms over Taldred's back.
Just for bookkeeping purposes, Brenner did yell into the bag of holding, but I assume it probably got passed back to Ada at this point. Just be in possession of everything for consistency's.
Was it picked up? Was on...
Yeah.
Okay.
And Brenner, with Taldred, is at least half-heartedly staring down the hallway as Yoris is being squired by it.
I'll help you out of your armor if possible.
How?
Like most armor, I assume there are straps at the shoulders and at the waist.
There are not. There are no clasps holding this armor closed. It
Needs to
seems
be broken off.
seems
Taldred offers
almost
a dagger.
fused closed.
Well, I'll try. Nah, I'm not gonna even try.
Is
Gasmere, I
this
can't get
really... Is this really the time? If it has some manner of a trap that goes off as you attempt to remove it, having his head explode at this very moment would be very inconvenient.
If it's trapped, the only thing that'll happen is to me.
You don't fucking know that. The time if we were going to do this, Yoros, was back at Ada's apartment when we all fucking agreed to do it, not when our friends are fucking dead under our feet. Not when we're hanging on by a line. Get your shit together. Stamp down there, and we're gonna get Dale's fucking people together. We're gonna get them on our backs, and we're gonna kill motherfucking Tierney Fang and level this place. We're gonna burn Zental Keep to the ground. With or without Dale, and with or without you.
What he said.
You hear a shriek to your west. A shriek of agony. It sounded feminine.
Alright, it's time to go. I agree. Sorry, Oros. It's gonna have to wait. I'll push past him.
Is this door locked?
It's open.
Taldred pushes through.
You do so. You arrive at a illuminated four-way hallway. There are doors to your north, west, and south.
Taldred has a listen.
You listen. You spend a little bit of time listening to hear what you can hear behind each of the doors. To the south door, you hear what sounds like moaning and gasping. It sounds like someone in their death throes. To the north, you hear heavy breathing. It sounds like a stable of horses. To the west, you hear nothing.
South first. Sounds like someone's in trouble. Might be one of Dale's people.
Brenner's banging on the door.
I was
You
gonna
do
say, is
so.
it open?
It's not open. You bang on the door. It makes a metallic clanging sound.
Don't you guys
Dwarf's
have a key
key.
ring?
Use the key.
Taldred tries. I've got a ZT3 Master, but I don't think that's gonna work here. He'll try the ZT3 Master, and after having broke the last key, he will be much more ginger with this one.
You attempt to use the ZT3 master key. It slides into the keyhole, but doesn't open it. When you
He'll try the East Master.
you put the Eastern master key inside and turn. With a satisfying click, the door seems to unlock.
Taldred pushes in.
You push the door open. One moment. You see a sparsely illuminated, long hallway. 2 doors are at the end. Neither one is marked.
As he's approaching, can you hear more of that breathing?
The breathing you heard was from the north.
Well, I meant the groans, I should say.
No, it's become almost silent.
Hey, try the door he's closest to first, then.
It's open. Do you, or I should say, I'm sorry, it's unlocked. Do you open it?
Yes, Taldred opens it.
One moment.
Yoris, are you intentionally not with us?
I was gonna listen on the door real quick, right here, just to make sure nothing's up there.
This appears to be some type of document storage room, Taldred, but you notice something right away. 2 things, actually. One, as soon as you enter here, there is a loud, rhythmic ticking sound. It seems to be increasing in pitch. You see a human woman pinned under a faceless reaver. Her midsection is crushed, and there's a dagger through the front of the helm of the reaver. Looking down up at you, she gives you a weak smile. Hey.
Taldred recognizes this woman from the tavern, Tony's Tavern, correct?
She robbed us.
That's what I thought.
Her midsection seems obliterated. This reaver is landed on top of her. She seems crushed.
Can I cast Toll the Dead on the Reaver?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is the Reaver already dead?
The reaver seems there is a dagger through its head. It seems to be dead.
Triage, what's her... Is she savable?
The ticking sound is increasing. You'd have to find out. You'd have to get closer to do any type of triage on her.
This smells like a trap.
The ticking sound is echoing in this small space.
I agree.
Taldred says...
Upon hearing that, Brenner takes a step. He was in lockstep with him, and as soon as he stops,
Castamere grabs Ada and
Yeah,
hurls them
Taldred
both
closes the door.
backwards, quickly, out of range of the ticking sound.
One moment. Sorry, one more moment. Taldred and Euros, make a dexterity save.
even after closing the door.
What door? The door. There is a deafening explosion.
19,
Add 4.
23.
Yoros, you jump out of the way as the door is thrown off of its hinges and smashes beside you in the far wall with a dull clang.
I also hit a 19.
Pieces of paper, all on fire, swish past you. It's impossible not to inhale smoke as it fills this chamber. For a moment, the entire keep shakes. The lights flicker and then come back to being steady. Fire swirls in the room.
So now that I have this orb, I instinctively just move forward. I'm just gonna control flames.
You do so, fighting fires in here.
Taldra calls out, "Go back north. Something might crumble. Let's get the fuck out of here."
The eastern wall of this hallway seems to be on the cusp of crumbling. Pieces of cobblestone are lying on the ground, smoking. The entire room is filled with burning papers, Euros. Bits of documents, some important, some not, it's impossible to know now, seem to be incinerated.
As long as I can put out the fire from doing more damage while we're still in here, that's fine.
You do so. Your goal is to snuff the fire?
Yes.
You do so, surging with the power of the Shadow Weave, controlling the flames. You see Ari's skeleton, still wearing armor, still with a pack on, pressed down onto the ground. The Faceless Reaver is still clutched over her, etched with fire.
Is the room safe to walk in?
Structurally, you can't say.
Alright, I'm just gonna walk out then. Oh, actually. Can I mage hand her backpack to me?
You could. Do you do that?
Yes, I want to grab her stuff. 'Cause
Okay.
it might still have my stuff in it.
You grasp her backpack and toss it toward you across the room. There are a number of sundries in here. Nothing of incredible importance. A small, tiny cloth canvas bedroll, scorched. The only thing that sticks out to you really is a ring. One moment. It's on the party chat. Or it's on the party tab. It's hard not to inhale smoke.
Yes, so I'll be rifling through the bag as I step out of the room. And just as I'm confirming the fire's out as well.
The fire seems to be out, but
Okay.
the room itself is devastated, and the masonry and structure of this room inspires no confidence in you. Especially as you can feel once again the whole building shakes as something happens to your north.
Yeah, so I'll just move back up to the group and I'll have my head up in the air and just a small sense of euphoria washes over me.
I'm sensing a theme here. Primed with people we know enticing us to do something altruistic. A calamity befalls us. Maybe we should skip the ogre.
Maybe, maybe not. He might have been more than they could handle.
Honestly, if they can trap an ogre,
He doesn't sound that trapped.
unless I don't know, his mind is befuddled and he kills us on sight.
Are we still head pounding?
You can, Gaspar.
Well, we have no way to get through that vault door, so I would guess we have no choice. We should have kept the dwarf. Guess we have no choice now. Let's do it.
It is what it is.
I'm gonna go north.
This door was pushed shut by the force of the explosion. It won't move.
I'll try to look if there's a keyhole or if it's another blast door.
This seems to be a blast door. You get the impression, just looking at it, that it seems like it was forced shut rather than... It doesn't seem like it's locked or anything is holding it shut. Just the force of the blast pushed it shut abruptly.
Let me step out of the way.
Talder says, "What? What?"
It won't open.
It
It's
needs-
it's jammed.
Have you tried pulling on it?
That's not my occupation.
Mr. Oswick,
Yeah, it comes down.
3. Put your shoulder into it. 2.
Yep.
1.
I would like to assist, Miss Gassman.
The two of you together, with your overwhelming strength, have no problem pulling this thing open. You do so, pulling the two leaves of the door apart. You see once again a four-way here in the middle. The lights glimmer slightly, as if something is affecting the power in here. If that's a concept your mind can analyze.
Talbert north.
That last shake felt like the north. Let's go.
Predator will approach the northern door.
You see something. This lock has been elegantly picked. Someone has carefully disassembled the locking mechanism.
We could have used Adi.
Or it was Dale. And he still had his hands, of course.
Yeah, well.
We can think about that later.
Predator pushes the door open.
You push the door open. There's a hallway here, and as you open it, you hear grunting and moaning, something very deep. As you walk into the hall here, you have an angle to see something. There's an archway, and inside there is a massive ogre. He seems stuck in there. As soon as he sees you, he howls in pain and shoves at the bricks around the door itself. He smashes the bricks and nothing happens. He howls in anger. You can see that the room he is in is almost completely destroyed.
How do you even get in there?
Dunno. Don't feel like talking. Predator pushes past to give room to the open.
You do so. He charges the opening, smashing into it. The entire keep shakes again.
Taldred gets in the gap.
He
And
moans.
he goes, hey, it's me, Roger's friend.
The ogre sticks his face up to the opening and says, "No, you! Still don't like you!
Well, do you like me more than the Zentarum?
Get me out of this!
How do I get you out?
Grease it up! Find something!" He backs up and smashes into the doorway again.
Taldred says, okay, give me a moment. Don't hurt yourself. We need you.
You can see that he's already hurt himself. There are massive bruises on his shoulder and blood is running down.
Taldred says, Taldred stays here. He asks Brenner to go see if there's something in the next cell that'll help us.
Sure.
Taldred says, how did they even get you in there?
The ogre howls in anger as if he doesn't want to tell you and smashes the side of his face against the archway.
I'm gonna
Orders.
walk up I have a half-drank bottle of gin still. And I'm going to put it on my hand like a serving person, like he recognized me in the bar, and I'm going to walk up and I'm going to say, "Remember me?" And I'm going to hold up the gin.
Remember, you little one? He spits in anger and grabs the bottle of gin.
We are your friends. Whether you want us or not, we are here to help.
He drinks it in one foul gulp and then throws the bottle through the archway. Taldred, it whizzes past your head and smashes into the far wall. You can see something here at the end of the hallway, Brenner and Gastmere. These aren't cells, these are individual forges.
And this is where this hallway terminates. There is no further, no more doors.
Correct, that's right.
Is the archway here open?
It is, yes, there's no door. Yes, it is an open aperture.
Shrink him at all?
I'm going to look inside this bag of holding. What's in there?
Go to the Nothing Gold tab on the manifest.
I'm going to rifle through for a moment.
Brenner is proficient with blacksmithing tools. He's worked with Andane his whole life. He would look where they would have either quenching oil or something greasy.
There is quenching oil here. And furthermore, next to the quenching oil, there's a small journal that interests you. There's also a half-finished axe, and the forge itself is burning, like someone was working here somewhat recently.
He'll infer that it's the dwarf, but pick up the journal, leave the axe, and try to at least beckon over Gaspir to try to move this, I assume, barrel of quenching oil?
Yes, it's actually half of a barrel. A barrel was sawn in half, and the bottom of the barrel is being used.
So within reason, Brenner could just push it across the ground without too much trouble, correct?
Yes, if you're careful.
He'll try to.
Are you entirely sure that this is going to work?
I don't have many better ideas. Do you?
I do. But it might be too late.
I have an idea.
The book is on the party sheet.
I'm going to chime up. I have an idea.
Yes.
I'm going to pull out a spell book. It is called Forlorn Spellbook. That little weasel bought this.
You told her to.
I know. The dead don't speak, okay?
Well, you are wearing a ring, so.
And I'm gonna say, I can turn the ogre into gas. If he's willing, he can get out. I could drop the spell as soon as he's in the hallway. And I'm gonna call in, what's your name?
He's hitting his head against the archway. He's using his forehead to slowly bash the archway apart. He says, "Name Clog, you're supposed to remember that."
Clog, I have a way to get you
Clog!
out. Clog, I have a way to get you out. But you have to cooperate.
He puts his face into the opening. He says, "I am cooperate."
I'm going to turn you into gas. You're going to go into the hallway, and then I'll turn you back into an ogre.
Don't want to be gas, want to be free.
Gas makes you free, Clog.
He puts his face as close as he can to yours. Says, "Don't like caster types."
Do you want this or not, Clog?
He sighs and puts his head down. Go.
I will cast Gaseous Form out of this spellbook.
Taldrin starts getting the fuck out of the way.
I will touch a willing creature, assuming that Clog is willing.
You touch his nose. He turns into a misty cloud of ogrosity.
As soon as he's in the hallway, I will take a step back, and I will drop concentration.
You do so. He reappears as a massive ogre in a slightly inconvenient spot. He looms over you, Euros and Taldred. He looks down at the both of you. Where are the rest?
Taldred says, "We're looking for them. We need your help to find them."
Where, Roger?
We're looking for Roger. We don't know.
Make me gas again.
I can't. That was one time, Clog, and I used it on you because I care.
Then how we get out of here?
We have ways. I would like to medicine check. How bad are his wounds? Are they mostly superficial?
He's at no medicine check necessary. He's at about half health. His efficacy is unaffected. He is an ogre. He is a war machine, and you sense that he is still able to perform his tasks.
I'm going to look inside this room that he destroyed.
You find the remnants of a forge. It seems to have been wrecked by his own fists. There are a number of sensitive forge tools like pincers that have been tossed roughly against the walls. It appears that he used a portion of the bellows to scrape at the rocks. Curiously, there's a bench that he left mostly intact. You can tell that he was sitting on this.
I assume I find nothing of interest in here, other than ruin.
Nothing other than ruin.
Upon hearing the raucous of freeing this ogre, Brenner will stop trying to scoot this barrel away, glance at the book, turn on heel, and inspect the fort. It's on. What's inside?
There's nothing inside right now. It's roaring, waiting for something to be deposited inside of it.
Taldred calls out and he says, "Let's get a move on."
Yeah.
I'm sure Clog wants to find something to hurt.
While that was going on, Gasmir's at the back popping pills. She takes a water skin and washes down the tablet.
You take a green tablet.
Yep. It's time.
Your
I actually forgot it exists, but it's time now. Completely planned.
Your heart rate immediately races. You feel ready to go. You feel like you can't wait to get things done. Your blood pressure spikes. You feel intense and powerful. You can't sit still.
Do I need to recalculate my hit points because I get extra during this technically?
Yes, you should. You should calculate.
God.
Well, it's just the stamina bonus times your level, so it should be pretty easy.
Okay.
So you should get 24 additional hit points. Or no, I'm sorry, for you, 26. Clog is trying to get past you, Taldred.
Taldred points at the door to the west and says, open that one."
Open door, that's fine. He smashes into it. He's using his shoulder. He's using his head. He's smashing into the door over and over again. The rest of the party, you can hear foul clanging as an ogre attempts to disassemble a door with his body. He punches the door. A huge, resonating sound echoes down the hallway.
Is it even locked? Can you just open it?
He's not paying enough attention. He uses his head and hits the door.
Is it giving it all?
It is. It looks like he's slowly
Okay.
breaking it apart. Perhaps at the cost of his cognition. It's hard not to cough, by the way. Smoke is starting to swirl through this hallway. There's nowhere for it to go.
No?
You think he can pick the lock on the vault?
A possibility. truth be told, we may need to go back upstairs because it's possible that we heard that more of Roger's crew is on that level. And we now have the master key to that floor.
With a sudden clang, the ogre breaks through the right side of this door. He punches a hole in it. Blood runs down his wrist.
Well, there's a hole. He has more leverage now.
He's ripping at the door now.
On his way back to the party, does this axe look special in any way other than being half finished?
It's hard to tell because it's half finished. The closest thing you can think of is it reminds me of when you were shopping in Suzale and you saw blanks. Unfinished enchanter's works.
He's no enchanter. Was there anything else in the pool of... Was anything in the quenching barrels?
No, there was not.
Okay, I'll just leave them. Does Casimir look jittery?
Yes. She's pacing like a caged lion.
Clog rips the door off and says, "There!
Calder says, "Thank you, Clog.
I told you, door open!"
Appreciate it."
Going toward the end of the hallway, he looks to see what he unearthed. It's another door.
Calder says, "Let me try to open this with a key."
She's sick of doors!
Me too. Calder tries both the keys.
You try them in order. The ZT3 master key you don't expect to work, and it doesn't. The eastern key does work. It opens the door pleasingly.
Oh shit! An armory?
It seems to be an armory.
Anything jump out in particular?
Roll investigation.
God damn it. 5.
You find something. You find a footlocker. It's locked. You also find there's quite a few of these Taldred.
Okay. Am I starting to get the impression that this isn't where the good shit is?
You can make that inference.
Okay. You said there was a footlocker. About what dimensions would you say?
It is 3 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. It's like a large box, rectangular in dimensions.
Is it locked?
It is locked.
Taldred takes one of the nearest weapons that looks like it would be good at prying and tries to pry it open.
You select an adze, something that is designed to pry things open. You start working at this, but it's going to take some time.
Did we hear you shuffling around in there?
I have to imagine Taldred making a shit ton of noise, yes.
Clog leans down and sniffs the footlocker.
What'd you find in there?
Hopefully something good. Some kind of armory, but most of this is junk.
I'm gonna ask if I could slide by Claude, but Claude just walks in.
Clog stands directly in your way. He leans down and looks at this small box and says, "Roger, in there?"
Taldred says, "I won't know until I open it."
"Give me."
Taldred acquiesces immediately.
He takes the box and starts smashing it.
Says, "Don't break it, don't break it. What if Roger's
Says,
in there?"
Then I'll get him out. He
Roger
he
the-
smashes the lock into pieces. Some type of small tools are strewn across the floor. There's black leather armor in here. Clog looks at it and says, "No!"
Well, now we know.
He looks extremely disappointed. Get. He demands that you get out of his way, but it looks like you already are.
Yeah, that's 100% what I was doing.
You want me to take a look in there for him, Clog?
He doesn't. He doesn't
I'll
say
have the best
anything.
eyes.
He's pushing past you.
Talbot says, I think we've seen everything there is to this floor.
Ada, an ogre, pushes past you.
I'll let him.
He finds this eastern door locked and slams into it. He bashes into it. He seems angrier than before.
Talbot says, I can open that.
He picks up his foot and kicks at the door.
Can I take a cursory glance around this room while they're kicking at the door?
You can. There's a strange tool set strewn across the floor. There's a set of black leather armor that seems like something that the ogre was interested in. There are a number of identical emissary robes and a number of non-magical weapons.
I'll pick up the tools and the armor.
You do so. One moment.
What does Ada's internal monologue sound like?
Well, it never stops. And it's mostly like asking questions and then answering them confidently over and over. I wonder what's behind that door. Actually, it's probably a study. Yeah, it's definitely a study. We need to open that.
Perhaps a new thought intrudes on Ada's mind. As Brenner will turn, almost half distracted, trying to keep his mind off of the situation, will push the book from the forge room into her shoulder. I think they're using the dragons from the Githyanki to forge weapons.
Dragon fire weapons.
That's what it looks like. I think it's more dragon weapon. Like melting the dragon down.
The ogre is hitting his head rhythmically on the door.
I will pull out my red dragon claw from my bag. Do we have a weapon I can inspect?
Is he asking, is she asking open?
I'm asking to Brenner.
He'll
'cause I
just
have
hand
not
her
been
the
paying
spear.
attention. Oh, it's the spear? I will compare them and see if I come up with anything. I'm looking for weakness.
I'm sorry, could you say again? I was looking at something.
I have the Eye of Grint, which allows me to see the weakness in things, and although this is obviously fruitless, Ada will attempt to look at the red dragon claw that we got from the Githyanki, well, that I took as a trophy, and the spear that Brenner thinks that they're supposedly forging from dragon parts.
That was crossed wires. That's his spear. He'll point up and say that there's an unfinished act to the north.
Oh. In that case, I will wander back and find it. And compare, briefly, the two to the best of my ability, which I assume is not a lot of expertise.
It's not a lot of expertise, but this feels resonant to you. This feels like these things rhyme. Speaking of rhyming, you can hear a rhythmic claw goes boom, boom, and as soon as he stops and punches the door.
I will come back. Say to Bremer, yeah, I think you're right. And assuming that they're red dragons, we know what type of element not to use against them. Thank you.
Taldred says, this would go faster if you let me open the doors.
Taldron, move.
Does he want me to open the door? Or is he saying just stay out of his way? It's up to interpretation. Lovely. Taldred opens the door.
You open the eastern door, but it seems like Clog is already paying more attention to the southern door.
Taldred says, we already went that way, Clog.
He opens it, it having been weakened by Gasmere and Brenner, and charges south.
Taldred goes, God damn it.
I'm going to say to Taldred, hopefully out of earshot of Clog. I don't know if he can make it down the stairs.
We'll figure something out.
He can. If those fucking the tall things can, he can.
Yeah.
That's true. I think we need to get to the vault door.
I'll be honest with you. I think we need to go back to the 3rd floor and use this master key to make sure we have checked every box. Like, I want to keep momentum, obviously, but
See if
Is
Dan's
Roger
alive.
still alive? Yeah, come on.
yes.
Okay, well, we should get him up there then.
Clog is working on this door. He puts his face up against the door and tries to chew on it.
Taldred says, Claude, you want to open that one?
He's not paying attention.
I really don't want to try and get in between him and the door. I don't have that kind of hit points right now.
He stops and punches the door.
I'm gonna go up to Yoros and say, Yoros, can I see that armor?
What, the ones I just picked up?
Yeah, if we can't get your armor off, I could use it.
Yeah. I don't have the big armor, if you're talking about that.
The one we just lifted from the captain.
that should be further down the hallway to the east.
Yeah, it's still sitting there.
Okay, we'll get it on our way.
Yeah, but I do have like a couple pieces of armor slinged over my shoulder, and then like a box of tools that I picked up from the other room.
Here's a weird question. Can you, like, Misty Step into armor?
I don't think that's within the realm of Misty Step.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask.
Very creative question, though. I like the way you're thinking.
I'm gonna look down the hallway at Taldred plus Clog.
Clog is working at this door. You heard him just punch it. A metallic ring goes down the hallway. I'm sorry, Taldred, go ahead.
Can I use the help action on Clog to somehow help?
You
Don't
can.
know.
You
Okay.
put your hand on his back. You're not really sure what to do here.
Yeah.
You do your best to assist him, and he eventually succeeds, and he punches another hole in the door. You think his fingers must be broken, but you're not. You see no signs of him stopping. After he punches a hole in the door, he gets his fist in there and starts pulling.
Miss Worthwhite.
Gasmere.
Casmire's pacing circles.
Do I notice your changed countenance?
Do you?
Is it obvious?
She acts a bit like when she's raging, but she doesn't have any visible scales.
Alright. Yes?
Mistra. We should have gone for Mistra.
We should have.
Is it too late?
Can we get there? I don't have a way to get there, or else I would. That's a good idea. Unless she's interred down here.
Asmir swoops in on a circle and lifts her hands like she's going to grab Ada's robes, but she refrains at the last moment. Are we on the same page for what we would do if we get there?
Well, my goal is to stop this foul resurrection of Mishra, and if she is savable at all, save her. I see Tirdi Fang as the thing standing in front of me, so he must be dispatched. Do you agree with this?
I think we need whatever power she has left.
She hasn't talked to me in over a decade. I'm gonna hold up the message stone. But it's worth a shot.
If we reach her, she doesn't need to answer.
You think she's down there?
She's somewhere, is she not?
She is somewhere. Or at least her body is.
Where there's a body, there might be remaining power.
True. Well, then we are in agreement.
Devour Mistra.
I'm sorry. Devour Mistra? You want to devour Mistra?
We want her power, do we not? Was that not the agreement, Miss Worthware?
I think there are possibly other routes to this. What we need is somebody standing at the weave, making sure the threads go in the right place. If we devour her, as you're saying, it could be catastrophic for this. The realms would never recover.
Or whoever has her power is Mistra and holds the threads.
I am fine with that outcome.
Then keep that hunger in mind. This tome has betrayed me and taunts me with salvation to my family. That is no longer possible. Have it. She hands it over.
Ada is roughly unnerved by what just happened and takes the book wordlessly, waiting for this interaction to subside. Thank you,
Miss
Gaspar.
smiles
I will
turns.
uneasily smile back.
and resumes pacing.
I'll
Yoris,
do the
you hear nothing on the other side of the door. I'm sorry, Ada, go ahead.
I'll do the thing where I turn around and my eyes go wide as I turn away.
Tuldred, Clog has busted into this room. It's filled with pipes with no purpose. You wish Nothing Gold was here to explain it to you. He is pacing around the room. He can't seem to find anything. There are stairs going downward that are far too small for him. He punches the wall out of frustration.
Taldred says, I told you this is the wrong way. We gotta go back the other way.
Hate pipes, hate doors, hate... He looks at you, and you realize that for a moment he almost trained his rage on you.
Right, but Taldred holds up an emerald and goes, do you like shinies?
Don't care about that anymore, Talton.
Come on. Come on, this way. Follow me.
He starts
Also-
he starts ripping at one of the pipes.
I'm wondering about the airflow in that room, by the way.
The airflow in that room feels healthy. You notice that there was there was a fan spinning through there.
This door has now been wrenched open, right?
Correct.
So airflow should be returning to this area at least.
That's right. Yes. It's cool, sweet air. It reminds you of the smell of a cave.
Right.
Something about it's very, very humid.
Taldred says, well, I'm going to go find Roger, okay? You do whatever you want.
You charge out of the room as he is ripping and pulling at one of the pipes.
I'm gonna pop this door open since I didn't hear anything.
You do so.
So Taldred reconvenes and says, "There's a group of stairs in one of the life support rooms nearby that goes down."
There's no stairs.
What?
Stairs are gone.
I just saw stairs. What are you talking about?
We can't go back up. The
Taldred runs
explosion-
over. Oh, fuck.
The stairs and the wall above them seem collapsed here, you assume from the bomb going off. Huge chunks of masonry are blocking the stairway.
Taldred just kind of like, he kind of like squats down with his fucking head in his hand. It's like, it's fucking Zentarum blowing up their own fucking keep. Because that's how goddamn scared they are. You know that?
Yeah. You said there were stairs.
Yes, there's stairs back. And let's hurry before Clog breaks something in there. He's not big enough to get through them. I think we have to leave him here.
Have him rip this vault door open downstairs.
I'm not sure he can. He was barely able to work these doors, honestly. I don't think
It'll
he's going to be
keep
able to
him
move that one.
distracted.
I could try to get him to do it, but
Well, before you do that, we should clear the way at least.
clear what way?
To the downstairs if you want to send him to the vault.
I don't know if I can get him out of that room.
Okay. Ada,
Yes.
you wanted this guy's armor?
I would like to inspect it. I've never put armor on before. Can I wear my robes over it?
Yes, you can. In fact, you recall that that is what the Warcaster was wearing. She had her robe on over this armor.
I would like to spend a decent amount of time putting it on, however much it takes. I will ask Yoros for help.
That's fine. I will help.
I have a quick question about this, because it says engineered ashen plate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Taldred, you were correct, because you said that his armor was similar, but it's possibly more similar than is immediately aware, because Taldred had Theseus help him put like little things in that make his armor, getting in and out of his armor, easier. So is this armor the same in that regard, and is it possible to quickly don this armor?
This armor does not have the bespoke improvements that you made to your armor, so this armor cannot be quickly donned. Your armor is one of a kind.
Okay, well, I would hope so, yes. I was just checking to see if that's what the engineered there was about.
The engineered refers to the surpassing excellence of it and how it uses materials technology to achieve a lower profile.
All right. Taldred's going to say, perhaps we should do that after we get downstairs, because that ogre is trashing the only way out of here right now.
Let's move then. I'll grab it. I will hold my breath as I walk past Gaspir.
You can smell fear. Just saying.
In this
We're all
room,
becoming
Taldred,
something we don't want to be. Sorry.
no problem. In this room, Taldred, you can see Clog is using all of his strength to try to pull one of these pipes out of the ground.
Okay. As Taldred walks by, he says, keep it up, Clog.
He doesn't seem to hear you.
Good.
If we're going down these stairs and it's 9 Pacific, I think I would like to call the session here. So we're not playing next week. We are playing the week
Well.
after.
And she is dead, so
Angie is still an integral part of the story, and Ridley can't make it either. So
Okay.
we'll play the week after next. Is everyone good for the week after next?
Yes.
So
Okay.
not the 4th, but the 11th. I think the 11th and the 18th are probably guaranteed sessions, and perhaps the 25th.
Just so
Sounds
everyone
good.
knows, on the 25th I will be in Norway. Unlikely that I'll be able to have internet, as I've looked. So if it goes to that, maybe we can reschedule, like have a double header or something.
If we do 4-hour sessions like this one and we plow through stuff, I think you'll be pleased. But yes, I'm with you. Thank you for the update. Well, let's cut it here. Thank you for coming. I apologize for all broken hearts.
I'm sorry, Joel. You had a cinematic death.
Not really.
Yeah, I think it was the opposite. It was the opposite of a cinematic
Yeah.
death. It's a wizard burning high-level spells as quickly as possible.
Cinematic in the sense that you have no agency.
If it's cinematic, we have no body, no death, right?
True.
She got Thanos.
Well, I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Good night.
Sounds good again.